And on the shores of Lake Ontario, after a tough outing last night, the Oswego State women's team is back in action here in a very quiet Deborah F. Stanley Ice Arena today. I'm Kyle Spizak. Joining me is the mustache magician himself, Jared Wakefield, and the worst floor hockey goalie ever, Thomas Turgeon. Boys, what do we think of today's matchup?
Boy, Kyle, I'm telling you, it's going to be an interesting one. An awesome day today. You know, last night we had Pride Night, and tonight we have Senior Day, a nice little 3 o'clock matinee on this Saturday here for the Oswego State women's team. Thomas, I think it's going to be a fun one.
I think it's most definitely going to be a fun one. In this game between these two teams, Buffalo State already eliminated from playoff contention, but you get to honor 8 great seniors part of this Lakers squad, so it should be an eventful day.
And as Turch just prematurely moved on to the next segment for us, tonight is senior night here in the Deb. And guys, who are some of the big seniors that you think are going to make an impact here tonight that are going to have a big loss coming into next season?
You know, it's honestly tough, Kyle, because there's so many seniors to look at. I mean, going down the line here, you know, Kylie Grugan, Taylor Hudon, Ariella Haas, part of that leadership core. They've all had pretty solid years. Haas, one of the top point scorers on this team. Mia Comboy had a pretty good night last night all around the ice. Morgan Shine's been strong as well. Zenstein as well. Stands out to me, though, Lauren Jones. She has not seen a lot of game time this year, but when she has played, Thomas, she's looked good. She's been one of the defense on the blue lines, had a really good job of getting her shots through traffic. Don't always need the hardest shot or the most fancy shot. Nice, hard, low shot. It's gotten to the pads every time. It's gotten her an assist here and there, and tonight she'll look to get a couple more.
Absolutely, and Lauren Shell out of the lineup once more for one more game, and Lauren Jones in the lineup for Oswego State. But overall, you look on the defensive end, I agree with you, Jared. Amanda Zenstein and Avery Webster, both 2 veteran defenders. It's going to be tough to replace those 2 on the back end going into next season.
Yeah, and in the final home stretch of the season, this is a very vital game, especially after the loss from Cortland last night. The Lakers need to make sure that they keep winning out the rest of the season to be put in a good position moving towards the playoffs. So for the Newell playoffs, how do you think things are going to get shaken up in the next week or two?
Well, overall, we saw last night the team losing to Cortland. We'll touch up on that later in the show. But Cortland right now, they got a couple games at hand on Oswego, so it's very likely the Lakers will travel down to Cortland for the semifinals. So I really think things stay a little stagnant. On the other hand, the only thing that I really see shaking up, Jared, is that 4th place seed with Canton sitting there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That 4th spot has kind of been the toss-up. We kind of figured at the start of the year, more or less, the Newell playoffs is going to be some combo of Plattsburgh, Cortland, Oswego. Likely Plattsburgh on top. Cortland, Oswego could flip. Cortland locking up that 2 seed. Oswego pretty safe in 3rd. That 4th seed could go to Canton, could go to Potsdam, and even Morrisville with just the tiniest outside chance there. But for Oswego, I mean, this is a big one. You know, try to get that momentum back going. Looking for a big dunk today on Buff State.
Yeah, it's a huge game that has big implications, but that's not the only story here tonight. Unfortunately, last night we did have a member of our WTOP community fall to death. So yesterday here at WTOP, a member of our community, Cheyenne Tiller, and her life ended yesterday. So we'd like to offer our condolences to the friends and family of Cheyenne.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Up to Dobson at the point. The cross-ice pass comes to Breeze, who's going to extend the lead to 3, but the Columbus Blue Jackets, they're not going down without a fight. Puck loose, out in front of net.
Welcome back to the best show on WTOP. I'm your host, Miss Meg Trivia. And I'm Donna.
We start things off in the pool as 4 members of the Oswego women's swimming and diving team have earned all SUNY honors. Finally, get that old music back. Welcome live inside the Al Roker studio for the newest episode of Sports.
And welcome back into the Deb, where there is now music playing, so it is not as quiet. And we are just inching closer and closer to game time each block that we move on. I'm Kyle Spizak. Next to me, Jared Wakefield, Thomas Turgeon. And both teams got a little bit of a matchup going on yesterday. So let's talk about, Jared, how about we talk about last night's game against for Buffalo State?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look at what Buffalo State did. They had a trip up to the NOCO as they faced off against SUNY Potsdam. It didn't end up going their way. They ended up losing 5-0. Jessica Augie had a pretty solid night, though. Was able to make 24 saves for Buff State. They really just weren't able to get anything going. Potsdam scored first, and who else but the captain, Kaylee Merrill, getting the first 2 goals right away. When we saw her here in Oswego, really sweet hands, able to move the puck around with ease around almost any defender. Rebecca Holmes tees up for 2, and then Megan Teach out in with the dagger, the 5th and final goal there in the 3rd period. 2 power plays for Buff State, none for Potsdam, and Buffalo State unable to convert there. 0 for 5 on the power play, just nothing doing there, and Potsdam winning the faceoff. So the Bears playing a complete game against the Bengals, declawing the Cats, so to speak. And then for Buff State, just not the outing they wanted. As for Oswego, they were here in the Deb, and we covered that last night. They hosted the Cortland Red Dragons, a pivotal pre-playoff matchup. We'll likely see that matchup in the semifinals. And for Oswego, it didn't go their way either, as the Red Dragons were able to take a 2-0 victory. As we take a look here, it was a goalie battle between Molly Gorgen and Lexi Levy, and Gorgen with some incredible saves to earn the shutout on 28 shots by the Lakers, the Cortland Red Dragons. They put up 34, and it was Maddie Kramer opening the scoring there. Megan Kramer, on a rebound opportunity, and that's how Cortland got both of them. Just some rebounds, nothing Lexi Levy could really do, just some messy but hard-earned and hard-fought goals. Cortland 1 for 3 on the power play. Oswego with some powerful penalty kills, though. The penalty kill showed some strength until that final power play where Cortland capitalized, but the Lakers good at the face-off circle.
Yeah, after a rough night for both teams, both are going to be looking to bounce back here in this matchup tonight. But we also mentioned goaltending was a huge part of yesterday's matchups, and it's going to be a big part of today's matchups as well. Luckily, we have our very own Thomas Turgeon, a former goaltender himself, so this is what we like to call Turgeon's analytical breakdown. So give us it all, Turge. How about the goalie matchup?
Well, it's definitely going to be a sight to see Jessica Augie, the lone goaltender for Buffalo State in this lineup. The record may not indicate how quality of a goaltender she is, but overall, just a numerous amount of saves for Jessica Augie. Over 1,000 minutes played so far this year, and 728 saves for Jessica Augie. An overall fantastic netminder for Buffalo State. She's not very tall, though, but she's able to take up a lot of space in that net, and she's been very critical for Buffalo State's victories this season, although only 7. They've been able to get a conference win against Morrisville courtesy of Augie, and not to mention a couple out-of-conference games, and potentially keep it close, especially in their last matchup against Oswego. And on the other hand, you have Lexi Levy, who's been done really the same exact thing last night, making some miraculous saves in between the pipes against Cortland, an 11-9-1 record, a GAA of 206. That's not bad at all, and a save percentage of .922. So roughly right around exactly where you want to be when you're Lexi Levy in this Oswego squad. When you're averaging over 3 goals a game, your goaltending only allowing roughly around 2, you're looking at a positive mindset going into the playoffs with your goaltender.
And goaltending will be an interesting storyline to keep track of, but we're going to throw it to break, and when we come back, we're going to do something you've never seen before here on this pregame show. It's turning to Price is Right. We got a game show coming up, so stay tuned here on WTOP 10.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
And welcome back into the pregame show here on WTOP 10. I'm Kyle Spizek. Joining me, the magician and the goaltender, Thomas Turgeon, Jared Wakefield.
I goaltended too, man.
Where?
And Wakefield did goaltend. He did goaltend. He's our broomball goaltender.
Broomball? Floor hockey.
Yeah.
I made a lot of saves. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Our producer, Jacob Bradley, said Jared was horrible, but he held us to one goal in our elimination game. We lost, but that doesn't matter.
But we were also
But
on a two-man penalty
Speaking
kill.
of games, though.
We do have a game coming up right here, right now. So we're going to do something called Laker Showdown. It's an idea from this sports show that we have called Laker Connections, hosted by these two people, the second best sports show on this TV station, but we're going to let that one slide real quick. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to hop right into the games, guys. So my first question that I got for you tonight, what senior on this Oswego team is going to have the biggest impact in this game?
You know, I took a look at things, and, you know, it's really tough to say because as we established, there's so many good seniors on this team. It's really tough to pick. I mentioned Lauren Jones earlier, but for right now, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Amanda Zenstein. She is one of the most experienced players on this team. 106th career college game, her last regular season college game here. 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points. She stays out of the box. Very experienced and savvy defenseman, good on both ends of the puck, offensive and defensive. Doesn't always pressure up, but she likes to be at the blue line, likes to move that puck around, make good passes, and has probably the hardest shot on this team.
That is a very good pick, and I completely agree with you, Jared. Amanda Zenstein, a very profound, well-rounded senior that's able to really work on both ends of the ice. But I'm going to go with actually another Elmira transfer that came to the program. I'm going with Ariella Haas. And the reason why I say this is last night, her line was consisting of her, Sophia Kirakostas, and Ashlyn McGrath. That line was buzzing. They had a lot of speed. They had a lot of offensive opportunities. And they definitely just generate a well-rounded, high-powered, high-flying offense. And I really think Haas brings a lot to the table in the style of a two-way game. So I'm going to go with Ariella Haas. It is senior day. Like you mentioned, Jared, a lot of seniors to choose from. You can only pick one, and I'm going to go with number 10 in white.
That's a good one.
All right, well,
That's a good pick.
You know, I get to be the judge of this here, so my word says, my word goes, your guys' doesn't. Sorry, Turge. Jared gets point number 1 on question number 1. I got to give it to Jared right there.
All right.
So now we're going to move on to question number 2 of this game. So, guys, I forgot what my question is, not going to lie, if I'm being honest with you. So what's the over-under for penalty minutes each team's? 10 over-under. What are your guys' thinking?
10 penalty minutes. I'm going to go with the over. And I really feel like this is going to be the case. But at the same time, you look at Oswego, they took a couple penalties that really weren't needed yesterday. A couple too many men, some trips, a little bit getting outworked by Cortland, a couple spans of the minutes. And not to mention, Buffalo State, they got plenty of penalty minute makers themselves. Amanda Minzora with 20, Vanessa Willick with 12. I think you're going to see a lot of special teams matchups today. Although the game in retrospect, it's 2 points for Oswego and Buffalo State. It's a final game to end the year on a high note, but I'm going to go with the over.
I got to go with the under. I mean, you think about it, if you're going to see 10 penalty minutes across both teams, for both teams, that's 5 penalties both teams have to take. I don't see it. Do I see penalties in this game? Yes. I could see each team probably taking about a penalty or 2 a period. But to get there, I don't see it. It's a Saturday matinee game. I feel like things are different when it's like a Friday Night Light or a Saturday Night Lights game. And we've seen that in the past where the night games, it's a little bit more hyped. They're a little bit more aggressive, a bit more feisty. And the Saturday games, sometimes those games are a bit slower, a bit methodical, not as chippy. In the games I've seen, this is not a team Oswego tends to get super chippy with. It's not Cortland or Plattsburgh. If it was Cortland or Plattsburgh, I'd be with Turge. I would say the over. I'll go with the under for this.
All right, this round I'm gonna have to go with Thomas because I can see it. I can see it being a chippy game. I can see it getting ramped up a little bit. So
there's one.
Now at the end of 2 rounds, we are tied at a 1-1 tie. So question number 3, I'm going to need help from producer Jacob Bradley once again. So what is your guys' most outlandish prediction for this game tonight or today?
Oh, man, I could go a lot of different ways here. Player that I think's been doing pretty strong right now for Oswego State is Simone Bednarik, fresh off the World University game. Since she's come back from Lake Placid, she's been very good. I think it's going to be a high scoring, but I'm not going to give away my pick. That's for later, so stay tuned. But I think Bednarik's going to grab a hat trick today and an assist. So I think it's going to be a high scoring day for Bednarik. She was all over the puck yesterday, had some chances. The chances didn't end up working out, but I think Bednarik going to get a natty hattie. We'll go with that.
A natty hattie. I'm going to go a little bit. We mentioned the over-under in question 2. I'm going to go with under 4 goals in total. I really think this is going to be a game where they're kind of just laying back a little bit. No team really has something to fight for in terms of a tournament aspect, in terms of a record aspect. And last game was a 3-1 final in favor of the Lakers. So overall, I don't see this hitting over 4 goals this game. I think Oswego will get the job done, but I really don't see it being anywhere close to a blowout.
I don't know.
All right, so we got 2 really good responses there. Turge, I gotta say, yours is probably the more accurate one that I can see actually happening, but that was not the point of question number 3. It was being more outlandish, so I have to give the dub to Mr.
You're not good at listening
Wakefield
to the questions
right here.
Serge.
Am I good at listening in general?
No.
Probably
No,
not.
not
Ask
really.
Jake.
No.
So, Mr. Wakefield, you win. Congrats.
Thank you.
You get a crisp
What do I
handshake
win?
from myself.
And Turge, yeah.
there you
I'll go for
Very
a
nice.
crisp
Very
handshake.
nice.
Yeah, handshake. That.
Do you get a crisp
That's
high
all we
five?
got here.
High five?
High five?
Yeah.
There we go.
High five.
There we go. Crisp high five. All right. So coming back from break, you already know what it is. It's the 3 Ps: picks, players, and puck drop. So don't go anywhere here on WTOP 10.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
And welcome back inside the Deborah F. Stanley Ice Arena for the final few minutes of your pregame show. I'm Kyle Spiezak, Jared Wakefield, Thomas Turgeon joining me up here. And this is not all you're going to see of us tonight, as we are also covering the other positions as well. But we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to jump straight into our regularly scheduled programming. So what is that? It is players to watch. And Jared, let's start off with you. Who's your player to watch for Buffalo State?
All right, let's start off away with the Bengals and who is going to pounce on the Lakers tonight. You know, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Sage running rabbit. I think Sage is going to have a real good night tonight. She's got 6 points on the year. Not the most offensive player, but she's a very good two-way forward. She's got 7 block shots, good on special teams as well as for a sophomore, 1 power play goal. I think she will be a threat for the Bengals. Both ends of the ice, you're not going to see her just in the offensive zone.
And for me, on the other hand, I'm going to go with the leading point getter for the Buffalo State Bengals. I'm going to go with Vanessa Willick. 9 goals, 6 assists, and 15 points in 20 games played. She might have a -3 on one hand for Buffalo State, but on the other hand, she has the highest shooting percentage in the top 5 point getters for Buffalo State at .214. So overall, you look at her, I think she's going to have a good game for Buffalo State. And Jared, like you mentioned, both of us, we were supposed to be going both with freshmen, but I think Vanessa Willick is going to really do a big staple for the Buffalo State Bengals here tonight. On the other hand, I'm going to go with Simone Bednarik, and the reason why I go with her is last night she was very noticeable on the ice on both ends. She was able to carry the puck through many of the defensive zone, the neutral zone, all the way in the offensive zone, generating some opportunities, and has really been on a tear since she got back from the university games. Like you mentioned, Jared, having a couple goals here and there, a couple multi-goal games, a couple multi-point games. I think she gets the job done tonight. 5 goals, 9 assists already for her. And only her sophomore year, so she's got a lot of room to grow, and she's got a good start going into the end of her sophomore year.
Well, speaking of another sophomore, Turge, I'm going to go with Sophia Kierkostas. And here's the thing about Kierkostas. Last year, a pretty good year, put some points up. This year, she hasn't really found the point total yet. 2 goals and an assist for 3 total points, but she's been shooting a lot at the net lately. 5 shots on goal last night. She's been all over, good at both ends of the ice again. But she's been finding the puck a lot, found the puck on her tape. Players trust her with the puck to take good shots, and Molly Gorjan making some unbelievable saves tonight. Kierkostas and the whole Lakers squad, but I think Sophia's got a really good shot to add to that goal total before the playoffs tonight.
And both you guys, fantastic players that we definitely have to keep an eye out for, but I'm more interested in knowing, what do you guys think the score of this outcome is going to be tonight?
Well, I'll lead off, and I think, I'm thinking Oswego State's looking to bounce back in a big way, Kyle and Thomas. 7-0 Oswego State, and I think Oswego, they're looking for a big win to get into the playoffs, looking to find those goal scorers and get the train on the tracks and get rolling.
That's going to be a lot of rolling, but I don't think it's going to chug that way too much. I think we're going to see an Oswego win nonetheless, but I'm going to go 4-1. It's 2 really good goaltenders going into today. Jessica Augie, Lexi Levy. You've got 2 great goaltenders in between the pipes and a lot of offense on the Oswego side. Not as much on Buffalo State's end, but they were able to solve Levy in their last matchup at a 3-1 victory. I'm going to go 4-1 as my final. Oswego will get the job done going into the playoffs on a high note.
And I'm going to kind of smack you guys right in the middle with my prediction. I'm guessing 5-1 Oswego takes the win here tonight. A little bit about what both of you said. I believe that the goaltending is going to be a huge thing. Augie's going to be insane. She always is. She's one of the better goalies in the Newell. So she's going to be stopping a lot, but I think Oswego's going to be coming out on fire after the loss last night. They're going to want to they have something to prove here tonight. So I think players like Ashley McGrath are really going to step up and put the puck in the net. But guys, we're not done just yet. So I have one final question for you. As it's senior day right now, if you're a senior, what are the emotions and what is the feeling of playing your last game at home gotta feel like?
This is a huge one. Like, it's potentially your last ever game in this rink, depending on what happens in the playoffs and if they can make NCAA. Potentially your last game here, your last game with your fans and family behind you, heading into the playoffs, and then you're in enemy territory, and then you're looking at maybe your last actual game. So here's your chance to savor it, have a little fun with it, remember the good times you had before it's time to get the business in the playoffs.
Absolutely, Jared. And I think really the one word that comes to mind for me is gratitude. Talking with Coach Digby early this week, he said that a few of them, granted, a couple of those members of that class is still the original recruiting class prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Morgan Shines, Kylie Grugan, Avery Webster, all of them. Mia Comboy as well, also in that group of the prior recruiting class. Obviously, you have a couple transfers coming in, but overall just gratitude being able to play one final game in the green and gold here in the Deb today.
And it will be exciting for them, but that's enough for us up here. Stay tuned because coming soon, Puck Drop is just minutes away here on WTOP 10.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
It's Al Roker.
And just like a stubbed toe, you can't get rid of us that easily. Me and Turge are back up in the press box for the call here today. Oswego State women's team taking on the Buffalo State Bengals. And Turgeon, we talked about it in the pregame, but I want to reiterate some of the key parts of this game that you think are going to occur.
First off, it's first and foremost the goaltending battle. You looked at Lexi Levy, you look at Jessica Augie, both really good goaltenders in their right mindset in the Newell, and we've seen that really on every team. The goaltending matchup has been really strong.
As right away, coming up the boards, Webster gets that out at center ice. She's just going to dump that one back in. They regroup on sides. Picked up down in the corner by Buffalo State. Kicking that one up to Willick. She's going to be angled out by Jones, back to Webster. Webster up the boards, looking for Shines, gets behind her, and it's picked up by a defenseman. Wrapped around the boards, but Nark's coming down. She picked that one's up. Goes behind the net. And it's kicked down in front. It's in front of Augie. Augie kind of covers it up, and it's still loose. Out in front, Bednarik almost had it, but it's going to be cleared out to the corner. Back up to the point. Webster has it. Webster makes a little bit of a move. Top of the circle, takes it down below the goal line. She's going to look for Bednarik in front. Try to get a tip shot off, and that one's covered up by Augie. 3 shots for the Lakers in the first minute, Turge. Something that they couldn't get going quick in the game last night against Cortland. So a good start for the Lakers.
Absolutely, but at the same time, I feel like you're comparing apples to oranges in your right way. Cortland, a completely different style compared to Buffalo State. A lot more speed, a lot more systematic play for the Red Dragons, and obviously Oswego, statistically the better team against Buffalo State today.
As that one's picked up by a Buffalo State player, they're going to try to bring it back behind their own net. Angled off by an Oswego player, and that one's picked up, thrown to the top by Malone to Zenstein. Back to Preston. Preston tosses that one down in the corner. No one picks that one up. No harm, no foul. Zenstein shovels it down to Malone. Malone back to Zenstein. Zenstein throws it in front, and a shot. Hull scores! And that one did not take long. 18:32 left to go in the first period, and Mac Hull has the first goal on the game. A good pass from Amanda Zenstein in front, and an easy move to get it past Jess Augie.
And Mac Hull getting her 11th on the year for the Oswego State Lakers. A convenient, in a way, nonchalant slap pass on goal. Mac Hull knocks it down, freezes Augie, and is able to tuck it in on the back end shot. An easy, really two-way play for Mac Hull to get the lead for the Lakers early.
And a high IQ play by Amanda Zenstein to throw that one in as Kirkosas has it at the hash marks, loses the puck, nothing's done there. Burke picks it back up behind the net. She takes a body, but she fights through it, gets the puck, drops it back for Kirkosas once more. Kirkosas takes it. She gets it over to Haas. Haas cycles it back down for Kirkosas once more. Stumbles a little bit, but maintains possession, drops it back to Burke. Burke gets it at the top of the circle. She tries to throw it across to Zemlak, can't keep it in. They're going to have to regroup on that one. Bounces off the boards. Burke once more. She tosses it back behind the net. Haas on the forecheck. She's going to be battling against McDonald. McDonald throws it over the corner. Back up in front, looking for Horvatis. Grugan's going to get that one. She wheels around the top of the circle, looking for the one-timer to Mucha. Couldn't connect on that one. Mucha looking for Preston. Misses the pass there. 2-on-1 for Buffalo State. They're just going to dump that one down in and go for a change. Tingley throws that one on net. Zenstein has it back behind Levy's cage. She gets poke checked away, regroups it, gets it back to Preston. Preston up to Mucha. Mucha tries to punch that one up to Grugan. Grugan circles back and picks it up. Using her size, gets some space there, comes in. She throws it across ice, looking for Shines, or Corbett, my apologies. Couldn't connect on that one. Throwing it down from the blue line once more is Buffalo State. Hudon, she'll get that one out. Buff State will have to regroup on this one. Zemlak picks it up. Back to Webster. Webster up the boards to Hudon. Hudon's going to backhand that one down, and chasing that back down in their own end will be Sarek. Hudon intercepts the pass. Throwing it in front, Shines picks it up. Back to Zemlak at the point. Couldn't keep that in with her feet. Webster will have to regroup and drop back, pick that up. Webster comes down, gets to the middle of the ice, and puts that one straight in Augie's breadbasket. 16:21 to go. And some good passing so far to start the game, Thomas. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, I would say so, and I think one of the things that we want to look forward to is the defenseman on Oswego's end getting into the play.
And we're going to throw it down to sideline reporter Jared Wakefield. Jared, take us away.
Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us away. Take us
Right away, Mac Hole with that goal, but Amanda Zenstein, the first senior to put a point up already. And as you can see behind me, Oswego really applying a lot of pressure. The Bengals have gotten a chance or two, but every time they've had it, it's been dumped right in, and the Lakers get it right out in the matter of a second. So not a lot of zone time for Buff State early, and Oswego, they look real hungry, and they've already feasted on the Bengals. 1-0 score. Kyle, back to you.
And thanks, Jared, as a missed pass in front there. A good look for Bednarik. Couldn't connect on it as Booth's going to pinch up and punch that one back in the zone. Little bit of a miscue on Buffalo State there, but they're coming back up the ice now. Jones picks it up at Oswego's blue line. D-to-D pass over to Booth. Booth, a nice center look for Malone. Malone couldn't regroup that one. Coming up the board, Silva. Silva's going to dump that one down in, back in Oswego's zone. Levy drops behind, stops it for Booth. Bednarik, quick chip pass up to Malone. Couldn't connect on it. Hull almost had it, but couldn't get there in time as Horvatis is coming in. Horvatis coming down the middle of the ice, and she takes a hit from Haas. No penalty called. Play moves on. No icing called as a race goes down into the corner. Back behind the net, a big battle. Oswego gets it. They throw it in front. Nobody was there to regroup it. Coming up the boards is Tingley. Tingley's going to take it across herself, and that one's going to be just offsides. Really close play, but couldn't get there in time. As we get ready for a face-off here in the neutral zone, Haas is going to take the draw on that one. It gets kicked to the corner and back to Haas as Kirkostas is going to pressure a Buffalo State player on this one. D-to-D pass, looking up the middle, trying to find Willick. Couldn't connect on it as Preston picks it up at the blue line. Going to be intercepted. Willick coming down with this one now. Tries to jump around Zenstein. Zenstein with a good stick. Didn't let that one happen. Going back down in the corner. Preston picks it up. She's going to chip it up the boards. Kirkostas does the same. Gets it to Burke. Burke has a one-on-one opportunity going back against Sarik. Back to Haas. Back over and a goal! What a passing play there by the Oswego State Lakers. And a good goal there for Lizzie Burke. A passing clinic, just passing it back and forth between Haas and Burke, and finds the back of the net for the second time here in this first period. 14:20 left to go. Just a real great display of offense there. They take that one-on-one opportunity, use it for their advantage, turning it into a two-on-one, and just utilize good passing and spacing out of the ice. Gets Augie a bit out of position. Not her fault. She couldn't do anything on that one as the Lakers extend the lead to 2 here early in the game. That one's going to be offsides, but it's picked up by Buff State, so the offsides is canceled out. Grugan intercepts a pass, and she takes it down below the net, but she blows a tire. Buff State trying to drop that one back for a regroup, couldn't do so, so Grugan picks it up on her own. That one's going to be taken away from Grugan. Jackson moving up the ice. McGrath picks it up in the neutral zone. She's going to fling it down the corner and chase that in herself. Comboy on the forecheck. Comboy gets the puck out there, trying to find it to Shines in front, but it was intercepted. Thrown across the ice by Silva. Heavy pressure on from Mendoza. And Comboy gets this one in the neutral zone. She's going to try to look cross ice. She hits Corbett. That one's going to be picked up back by Braun. Braun D-to-D pass back to by Ademi. Up the boards, picked up by Tingley. Back down to Ademi. Ademi behind the net. Throws it up the boards, couldn't connect with her winger on that one. As Webster hits an escape turn, she's just going to toss that one down in. Bednarik, some heavy pressure on that. She gets tripped up. Delayed penalty on the Buff State Bengals. She's going to drop that one off. Malone looking for a backdoor pass. It was intercepted, but nonetheless, Buffalo State now finds themselves on the penalty kill. 2-0 Oswego State leads. 12:38 here to go in the first period. Shots 9-2 in favor of the Lakers as they get the woman advantage for the next 2 minutes. Taking a look at the replay there. Stick just gets caught right up in the blades of Bednarik. She goes down. That's going to be called a trip every day. And Turge, power play for the Lakers, very lackluster this year, but they had a decent power play yesterday.
They had decent power play yesterday, and over the last few matchups, their power play has gotten multi-goal games, as well as a couple games where they've even just capitalized on one, which is a very positive way to look at things going in the final game.
Has a good chance there in front, and it's going to be tied up. Haas takes a bit of a shove, but that'll be the end of that. Nothing more we'll presume out of that. Face off on the far side, circle, within Buffalo State's zone. And talking about Oswego State's power play, the percentage not looking the greatest, hovering at right about a 10% power play on the year. Very, very low numbers, especially compared to last year's power play, who really, they were quite a solid unit, Turge. And this one's up at the point. Bednarik throws it over to Haas. Back to Bednarik. Gets stalled a little bit. Zenstein tries to take a golf shot at that one. Get the 9-iron out. Fans on it. Back to the point, Zenstein. Back to Haas. Haas chips it back down to Bednarik. Bednarik at the top of the circle, taking it towards center ice. She drops it back door. Hull tries to get her second on the night. That one goes off the skate of McGrath into the corner, but McGrath regroups. Back to Hull. Oswego moving it around the top of the circle as Zenstein looks back door for Hull. Just couldn't get there in time, a little too far out of range.
Definitely the right idea there. Zenstein looking to find that seam pass, and just a little bit behind it was that pass on Hull.
And Zenstein there, a good look in front. Hits Haas down in the corner. Haas looks for McGrath in front, just sails a tiny bit wide. Back to Hull at the circle. And McGrath almost chips that one in. She still gets the puck back out. 31 seconds left to go on the power play for the Lakers. Haas goes down in the corner to gets the rebound. And Oswego's moving the puck really well on this so far, Turgeon.
Absolutely, and they just look like the better team, but we haven't even mentioned the fact that the lineup itself for Buffalo State, they're essentially an entire line down. They don't have two forwards on that last forward line. They don't have an extra skater today, whereas Oswego, they have the full lineup, the full shebang, the full four lines, extra skater, the whole nine, and you look at that, and that alone speaks a little bit of volumes.
As an almost put back opportunity there for Hull. And talking about how Buff State is short, they also only have one goalie on the roster today, and that being Augie, who's in net, as Malone tries to get a chance in front there. Nothing comes out of that one. Bit of a miscommunication there as Webster and Zemlak run into each other, but Malone's going to take it in across the ice, but just a hair too fast. That one's going to be called for offsides, 10-17 to go.
And you look at Oswego right now, the shot's 12-2. We kind of expected that going into today. And you look at this team, and we talked about in the pregame show, standings-wise, it's very likely Oswego will be the 3 seed. And they're going into today. I feel like today is really all trying to work on the small things. I wouldn't say it's a practice game per se, but in retrospect, it kind of is. You're playing against a weaker opponent that you can easily work on things and take note of things that you struggled with against Cortland. Granted, 2 different styles, but you're going to have to be ready for that Red Dragons team coming about a week and a half, 2 weeks or so when you play them in the semifinal.
Yeah, like you said, you don't want to overlook any opponent, but this is a good game. You can get some good practice and repetition in on. And especially, but one of the things about that, though, is you don't want to play down to your competition in these situations either. You want to use it as a chance to still play your best hockey that you possibly can, but you want to improve on those aspects of your game that may not be the strongest, such as the special teams, as they throw it up the boards. Burke tries to chip it to Kirkostas, intercepted at the blue line by a Buffalo State player as they try to throw it up the boards there. Tingley goes down. Conboy gets stolen from Tingley. Tingley tries throwing it up, but Webster, quick stop and start, almost got it, but it's thrown back down in Oswego's zone. Lexi Levy picks that one up back behind the net. And a miscue in front. That one goes straight to a Buffalo State Bengal. Clapper from the point. That one stopped by the chest of Levy. Tingley has that one down in the corner, trying to throw it in front. Oswego can't possess the puck. It's just bouncing all over the place right now. Webster. She's got heavy pressure on her. She's going to stop that one, throw it up the boards for Burke. Burke's going to throw it up for Conboy. Tried taking up the middle, got a little bit out of reach, but nothing too bad as that gives them more time, and Oswego State's going to go for the change. Picked up the boards. This one's picked up by Shine. Shine has Corbett in front, and Corbett tries to poke that one 5-hole. Augie shuts it down. Coming off the boards is Horvatis. Jones gets that one back at center ice. She's got time to think about what she wants to do with it. She's going to elect to go over to Booth. Booth fans on the backhander. Tied up in the feet of a bunch of players, but it's going to be Buffalo State gets it. Buffalo State's just going to throw that one down in from the point. Sage running rabbit. Jones across the red line. She gets poke checked away, and Horvatis has a breakaway, and she just loses control of the puck on that one. Has to push it to the side. Easy blocker save for Levy. Hull has it at center ice. Taking it across, looking for a streaking Malone. Couldn't find her. Along the half boards, Buff State manages to get that one out. Oswego's going to have to regroup this. Malone comes in with a little bit of speed, takes it to the far side, cutting in on her own. Couple of good moves, and the first collegiate goal of Riley Preston's career. A pass off from Kenzie Malone, and Riley Preston claps that one in right past the blocker of Augie, and that is her first goal as a Laker and the first NCAA goal of her career. Turge, what a day for her.
And it took 39 games to get there, but she has finally broken it. Riley Preston, her first goal in her NCAA career. You only thought it was a matter of time. She has plenty of assists going into tonight. She had one on the secondary goal, and now she finally has got her first collegiate goal. Finally a good time. Throws one right on net, is able to beat Augie on that far side, and finally breaks the ice. Now a 3-0 game for Oswego State.
And that's got to be a great feeling after 2 seasons notching that first goal. Definitely going to want that one. Wrap it up in a little bit of tape, sign it, date it. Lakers now have the 3-0 lead here. As Hull stays on side there, Bednarik's going to go down on the attack. Down the corner, Silva. Thrown back in front, Kirkostas gets a chance. She'll go back, pick it up behind the net. Webster rips that one from the point, and another tipped chance in front. The Lakers doing a great job screening shots and getting a stick on it in front of the net. Back up top, Webster. Takes it down the hash marks herself. Back behind the net to Haas. Haas looking in front for Kirkostas. Just a little bit too slow, couldn't get the move around. Buffalo's gonna get the blue line, just dump that one down in. Burke gets that one up to Haas, but Haas is just gonna chip it down in, get a line change. Buffalo State throwing it up the ice. Groh has it. Groh tries to jump around Webster, runs into her, gets a piece, can't stay on her feet. McGrath takes a hit. She's just going to throw that one up the boards. And a bouncing puck. Levy has to grow back and save that one. And we're sending it back down into the corner to Jared Wakefield. Jared, take us away, brother.
All right, guys, thank you very much, Kyle. And boy, what a nice goal there by Riley Preston. Kenzie Malone working her way into the slot, slicing and dicing like she's putting together a charcuterie board. And that puck dribbles off her stick. Buffalo State successful with the poke check. The problem is the poke check went right to Riley Preston, who fired that puck right home, right past Augie. And for Augie, it's been a really tough start so far. A lot of saves early, but the Buffalo State defense unable to get the puck out. The Lakers cycling incredibly hard, putting the Buffalo State Bengals into a blender right now, guys. And I hate to sound like Nostradamus. My score prediction is 7-0, looking real good right now as 3 goals unanswered for Oswego here in the first period. Kyle, back up to you.
And thank you, Jared, for that report. As another chance right there as they were looking for Grugan in front. Couldn't connect on it. Augie gets her stick out, poke checks that one away. This one's going to be thrown down the ice by Willick, and it's going to go just wide enough of the net where they can get an icing on that. And Turge, the Lakers are rolling here in this first period. 3 goals so far in the first. They had none last night. What's been the big difference between today and yesterday? I think
overall you're looking at 2 different goaltenders. Granted, Augie's a very good goaltender herself, but Molly Gorgon having a .942 save percentage going into yesterday. It's a completely different game. You got a completely different defensive core in front of their netminders. So overall, you look at Oswego played well last night. But on the other hand, you're playing a completely different team today.
Definitely different playing styles and definitely not as quick of a team as Cortland. Cortland likes to play a very fast game. That one's going to be dumped down into the corner by Groh. They're going to go and get a change. Oswego has the chance to get something running here. Hudon trying to look for somebody coming up the middle of the neutral zone. No one was there. But Zenstein steps up to the blue line, gets a skate on the puck, keeps it out of Oswego's zone. And some good forecheck and pressure from Malone there, stalling the Bengals' entry to Oswego's zone. Looking across for Horvatis. Horvatis gets that one around Zenstein, but Zenstein's going to get it right back after. Malone tries chipping it back close side. She takes a bit of a hit there. Moves the puck in the zone, however. Stepping up at the blue line, Zemlak. Bednarik drops back. She gets possession of the puck there. She drops back to Webster. Webster up to Hall. Back to Bednarik. She circles around a little bit, trying to find some space to skate with the puck, but she gets pickpocketed. Now skating down's Tingley. Tingley's going to get a shot on net, and that one's a ground ball, an easy routine ground ball play for Lexi Levy.
A pretty routine save by Lexi Levy. She hasn't really been having to really contest much in this contest, and only 7 shots so far compared to Augie's 14 shots faced. And you look at Levy on the other hand, there's going to be games like this, and there has been games like this all season long where the team that you're playing, their offense may not be as highly powered as Oswego State, and you're just going to have to be ready when your number is called, and or that situation right there when a puck comes from the blue line flying right at you.
Yeah, a lot of shots are going to come from the outside of the point. I don't see many Levy facing many backdoor opportunities or slot shots, really. A lot of it's going to be kept to the outside. Oswego State's defense been doing a good job so far this game, keeping Buffalo State on the outside of the rink. As another shot from the top of the circle there, blocked away by Levy. Jones picks it up at the half board. Easy chip up for Burke. Burke miscued it, but it's pickpocketed by Kirkostas. Picked back up by Jackson. Trying to wrap it up the board, some Minzora. Setting this one up is Silva. Silva's going to toss it down the length of the ice, but she did not get the red line, and the other number 3, Maya Booth, beats her out there. 3:03 to go in the first period. Maya Booth, somebody who's new to this Lakers team this season. One of the players that I've noticed, Turge, she has improved a lot as the course of the season's gone on. You've been able to see Booth just relax into the system this Oswego State team runs, and really, she's excelled in the last couple of games.
Yes, absolutely. And you look at Maya Booth, most of the season being on that defensive pair with Riley Preston. Both of them, you see their confidence has been growing as the season has come on. They both like to attack that blue line and hold the zone as much as they can. It's a nice little balance. You look at your top pair with Webster and Zemlak. They're about 50-50. Zenstein and Jones, typically Zenstein and Shell, most of the time like to kind of be on their heels and backpedal a little bit, don't hold the line as much, where you have Booth and Preston who really hold that blue line and keep the offensive zone time a must-time priority for the Lakers. So it's a nice little balance in that defensive core. It'll be interesting to see next year. Obviously, we mentioned Zenstein and Webster graduating, and to see who steps up and what changes in that core going into next year.
Yeah, with Webster and Zenstein being 2 of the stronger defensemen on the team, as Oswego almost had a bad miscue there. A great just all-ice pass to Cruzall. She gets a one-on-0 opportunity with Levy, and that puts that one right in the pads. Oswego's defense was smothering her not long after. 2:01 left to go in the first period of play. Taking the face-off will be Groh. Facing off against Groh is Mucha, as Mucha wins that one over to the corner. Krugen, quick chip pass up. They're looking for McGrath. McGrath was streaking down the center of the ice. No one was near, but they couldn't get it. Buffalo took down the angles. McGrath goes down to the ice there, but not after a hard-fought battle coming up and making a great play to keep the puck in. Now taking a bit down with a bit of speed, Cruzall. Cruzall's going to shoot that one around Zenstein. Easy kick save for Levy. Trying the wraparound opportunity. That one sails across the crease and into the corner. It's picked up by Corbett, and then she finds Shines 1-on-0, and she puts that one into the blocker of Augie and right into the netting after. Oswego, decent amount of opportunities here in this game. They've already netted home 3 and a breakaway chance there. That's about the 3rd breakaway we've seen between both teams this game so far, Turgeon.
Absolutely, and a great stretch pass by Rachel Corbin on a silver platter. Morgan Shines looking to roof one over the blocker side. Jessica Augie had a nice waffle board to say about that going into the netting. A good save by her, and now already her 12th in this first period alone.
And Corbett almost picks that one up in the middle of the ice, but it just gets by. This one's going to be dumped down in by Horvatis, but it's picked up by Comboy. Comboy back to Shines. Shines just had an opportunity, and she almost had another one, but that one's shut down by Augie. She's just going to play it safe, get the face-off in her own zone. Within a minute left to play here in the first period.
And it's a good senior day start for the Lakers. You're up 3-0, most likely going into this second period. Potentially more, maybe less if Buffalo State gets a break. We've seen them have a couple of chances, but nothing really grade A opportunities. Oswego, on the other hand, has had a little bit of everything tonight or today so far. But overall, you look at this team, they've made some very good plays and a couple good quality opportunities. They just need to touch things up just a smidge more, I think, when it comes to their passing game. I think their passes need to be a little bit more crisp, and their regroups aren't as clean.
And for the Lakers so far in this game, although it is senior day, it's really been the sophomore stars out today in this game. All 3 goals scored by sophomores for the Lakers. Mac Hall, Lizzie Burke, and Riley Preston, all in their sophomore year. Displaying a bright future for the Lakers. There's 10 seconds left to go in the period. Bednarik's coming down. Bednarik gets a little bit of space of her own, and she's going to shoot that one, dings it off the post, goes wide. Augie's going to stop that one. 1.9 seconds left to go in the period. So it'll just be a quick draw and done. Go back to the locker room. But throughout the entire course of this game, the Lakers have not shut down at all whatsoever. They started going pretty quick out of the gates, and they've been turning it up since that first goal.
Absolutely, and one of the little things about Simone Bednarik's game that is very fun to watch is her horizontal across the ice game. She's able to get a lot of speed side to side. Obviously, she's a very fast skater regardless when it comes to up and down the ice, but working your way around, going side to side, and being able to cut towards the opposing side, get a quality opportunity on goal. You mentioned that one just ringing right off the outside of the bar. And a close opportunity for Simone Bednarik, being able to capitalize in the last few games. Granted, not the shutouts against Cortland and Canton, but she has been able to find the score sheet over the last few games when Oswego has scored on the board. And you look at now, you're going into a 3-0 game. Overall, it's just cleaning up the little things for the Oswego State Lakers.
Yeah, and like you said, Turgeon, I mean, I had a coach growing up. He used to say hockey's a directional game. It's not just north and south. You have to be able to go east and west as well if you want to get space and be able to get opportunities to get on the board. But so far, 3-0 at the end of the first, and Jared Wakefield is with an Oswego State player right now, so we're going to send it down to him and see what their insights are after that first period.
Thank you very much, Kyle. I'm down here with Ariel Haas, and boy, what a first period. I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know if there's some magnets in the tape or what, but boy, pucks were finding everybody out there. An explosive first period. Talk me through it.
Obviously, we needed a comeback after last night. Wasn't our best game, but it's nice to see things capitalizing for us, things we've been working on in practice finally coming together in the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, way to bounce back, and hey, it's senior day, a pretty fun day. It's got to feel really good to get on the scoreboard nice and early on a big day for all of you.
Yeah, that's always good. It was a really good first period for us. We just got to keep the energy going throughout the whole game. Stay consistent.
And, having a little bit of fun on senior day, so we're going to throw a little bit of a wild card at you. What's your pregame routine? A coffee order, something like that? What do we got going on when you're walking into the rink?
Honestly, I don't really have any specific routine. Not super superstitious, but I always play a little catch with Matt Cole, Ash McGrath before the game. We play a little football up on the mezzanine, so definitely have to do that before every game.
Hey, that works out. Thank you very much, Ariella. Good luck in the second period.
Thank you.
Guys, that's all I got. Spees and Bubba, back up to you boys in the box.
And thank you, Jared, for that post-period interview right there. We're going to send it over to break. And we would come back. Jared's going to join us up here in the booth, and we're going to run you through an intermission report on that first period. So don't go anywhere here on WTOP 10.
Shine on that boy. Look at the bling. Do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep. 10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
It's Al Roker.
Probably middle, right?
Shine on that boy.
Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep. 10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
And after first period play is come to a halt, we have a 3-0 lead for the Oswego State Lakers here in the Deborah F. Stanley Ice Arena. I'm Kyle Spizak. We got Jared Wakefield, Thomas Turgeon, and this isn't the perch. No, we're up in the Steve Levy press box for this intermission report today. And guys, wild first period for the Lakers. What are your thoughts on that first frame?
You know, that was absolutely a wild one and kind of what I expected. The Lakers were going to come out hungry, and as Ariella Haas said, they really wanted to get one and get one good after last night, which stings a little bit, but I'm sure 3 goals will wash that one right away, and 3 pretty ones too, Thomas.
Absolutely, and you look at that first one, Mac Hall, we'll take a look at in just a moment. This team was firing on all cylinders in that first period of play. They didn't score against Cortland, so 2 out of the last 3 games being shut out definitely doesn't feel too good. But going into this second period of play, up 3 goals, you got to take what you want and move forward.
Yeah, as we take a look at Mac Hall's replay of that first goal, just an absolute passing display right there. It was a fantastic work of just good ice vision and knowing where to move the puck and when.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see here, the Lakers doing something that, honestly, we saw that Cortland team do so well last night, cycling and structure. They looked like a well-put-together building. They could have withstood an EF5 tornado with how good their structure was on that play there. And Mac Hall, the little backhand, and Augie, nothing she could do, looking for a shot coming post side, and Hall just gets that puck right out in front, walks on by, and sneaks it on through.
Absolutely, and you look at Amanda Zenstein, you're not really sure if she intended to have Hall, knock it down in front of the goal, but at the end of the day, you take what you want. Amanda Zenstein, another assist. She's had a very good year on the defensive end, already a career high on defensive end for points for the Oswego State Lakers defender, and now senior graduating. So a good night, or good day so far for her.
Yeah, and moving on to the second goal of the period now, because the Lakers were lighting it up so far. As we take a look at that second goal replay, guys, I want you to walk me through what happened on this one right here.
Just an overall nice dish to Lizzie Burke, and it's just a beauty. Preston to Haas, all the way over back to Burke, and just a pinpoint passing play on the soft finish on the back door, and really a 2-on-0 at the end of the day, Jared. It's really hard to stop those and slide side to side like Augie. Very small goaltender. Lizzie Burke getting her second on the year.
Yeah, and Buffalo State, a little bit of a defensive miscue. The defender there was defending the shot, and in that case, Augie needs to be looking for that pass, and she was also on the shot too, so double committed there on the defense and in net, and that leaves that back door wide open for Burke to blast right through it and walk in unwelcomed in the Buffalo State's net, and that makes it 2-0.
And as we mentioned on the call, Riley Preston got her first goal in her 39-game NCAA campaign so far, as we take a look at her first goal in her career. And what an experience that has to be for her right there.
Yeah, and I mean, that was certainly a weird one there as Kenzie Malone was trying to dish her way through the slot. Buffalo State poke check there, ends up hurting them. Buffalo State obviously trying to get that puck out and get a little bit of space so they can turn around and pounce on the rush, but unable to do so. That puck pitter-patters its way right to Riley Preston's stick as she fires home an absolute bullet past Augie again. Augie, like that first goal, not a lot she could do in that situation, especially with how rapid fire that play was.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was really right place, right time for Riley Preston, and the good shot beating Augie on that far side post. And you can see the excitement on Amanda Zenstein right there, her defensive partner for the day on senior day, although Preston getting one that she'll remember for quite some time, her first collegiate goal in an Oswego State sweater.
And moving on from that, a fantastic moment for Riley Preston. Buffalo State, what do they have to change going into the second period?
For me, on the other hand, I'm going to have to go with their breakout. They seemed very, very slow on their breakout, and that's what Oswego loves. They're a run-and-gun type of team where they're going to be right in your face on the forecheck. They don't like sitting back and playing that trap-style game. They want to be all speed, and they have plenty of it. So with that, they're able to counter that Buffalo State breakout, and you saw it plenty of times. Buffalo State wasn't able to clear the zone much, and Jared, you look at Oswego's offense, on the other hand, they're firing on all cylinders.
Oswego's offense absolutely is, but for Buffalo State, I think the change is pretty simple. Patience. A few of those goals caused by a desperation play. That Preston goal, for example, if they let Malone wheel there, she really doesn't have a shooting lane, but they make that poke check a bit untimely as the checker was a little bit off to the side of a play, just kind of a weird stab at it, and that trickles that puck into the corner, and more times than not, there's going to be a shooter on that near side dot. And Preston was right there, and she buried it. So be patient. Don't force it. If Oswego's cycling, wait for them, because eventually they're going to get a little aggressive trying to force that goal, and they might make a mistake. It happens to all offensive teams. You want to score, especially when you've been in the zone. You can feel it ramping up. You try to make something happen, try something a little risky. It doesn't always work. Be patient, get on the breakout, and don't always try to shoot necessarily. If you get a breakout and dump in, you can kind of just dump it in or just try to hold possession, wait for reinforcements, and set up the troops.
And with that, we are going to get ready for second period action. We're going to throw Jared back down to the corner like he's a bad toddler in a timeout. So without any further ado, we're going to send this to break. When we come back, second period action. Don't go anywhere here on WTOP 10.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
And guess who's back? Back again. That's right, it's me, Kyle Spiezek, and Thomas Turchin back on the call for some second period action. Oswego State leads the Buffalo State Bengals 3-0 after the first 20. Going into this one, the Lakers looking to extend the lead, and Buff State trying to claw back a little bit here, get some points up on the board. Turch, what do the Buffalo State Bengals got to do if they want to get a few points on the board here?
Really, I think you got to start off with a good first shift, and that's really a staple for any team. And you look at that first period, Oswego had the mojo from the very first drop of the puck, and Buffalo State really couldn't bounce back from it. I wouldn't say claw back, as you already pulled that claw mark regardless, but either way, this team really just needs a first few good shifts, and then after that, you got to let it work from there.
As right off the bat, Buffalo State ends up in their own zone. Oswego's on the forecheck already. Hull moves it back up to the point to Webster. Webster tosses it one back down in the corner, letting their teammates pick it up. And a thrown in front, Hull almost gets another opportunity in front. But this one's going to be taken out by the Bengals. Dumped down on net by Cruzall. Levy's going to kick that one away into the corner. Zemlak with a little bit of pressure on her. Hull gets that one up to Bednarik. Bednarik coming in with speed. She's been on a tear the last couple of games, looking very impressive so far this second half of the season. She chips it back up to the point. Webster tries to get it back to Bednarik, but she was cutting in, looking for a give and go. Haas battles through the pressure, gets it behind the net, takes it into the corner. She's going to chip that one back behind the net. Kirkostas gets tied up against the boards by Jackson. Haas battles this one out, throws it back down behind the net again. Kirkostas goes and battles for it with Jackson once more. Kirkostas start and stop. She gets a little bit of space. Looking for something to do with it. She throws it back for Haas. Haas throws it, and backhand chance for Burke on the rebound. Shot from the point just misses wide from Zemlak. Webster down to Haas. The cycle's working very effective for the Lakers right now, not allowing Buffalo State to get any possession of the puck. But that one ends up in the skate of Silva. She's going to skate this one up on her own. Silva takes it to the blue line, just chips that one down in a little bit wide of the net, picked up by Preston. Preston slap passes that one up to McGrath. McGrath's going to chip it in, take it, go for herself. McGrath battles that one out. Mucha and McGrath on her. Buff State skating this one out. Quick start and stop move for Sarik. Preston blows a tire. And there's going to be a penalty called on that one. It's going to be a tripping call for the Buffalo State Bengals. It's going to go to number 4, Hannah Tingley. And Oswego State gets their second power play opportunity of the night, Turge.
And a good effort by Riley Preston. Granted, we've seen a little bit of a slip and slide type of style in these first few minutes. A couple forwards and defenders on each side taking a few tumbles here and there, but Riley Preston again being able to draw the penalty. Oswego will go on the power play early here in the second period.
And believe it or not, Turge, much to our own surprise, ice is a little bit slippery at times.
It is.
As that one's picked up by Haas. Bednarik at the point. Back over to Zenstein and Bednarik once more. Bednarik, Zenstein clapper from the point. That one's stopped by Augie. Trying to throw it up the board. Zenstein pinches down, grabs it, back to Bednarik. Throwing it around the top of the umbrella. Into the skate. Back to this point. Zenstein with another shot. That one goes wide. Zenstein. Haas. Haas at the top of the circle. She finds Bednarik backdoor. Good shot opportunity. That one's up, ends up in the chest of Augie, and she stops that one. 1:19 left to go on this power play.
And a good passing play there with Haas. She has the puck right in the slot. You have a little bit of traffic there. They're all sucking in the middle of that slot. Able to clog up a passing lane in the middle and a shooting lane right there. You have Bednarik on that back door. You're able to slide it towards that back door, but good maneuver by Augie to keep it a 3-0 game.
And Haas, not the most goals on the year, but one of the top playmakers for this Oswego team, leading the assist category as Webster gets it at the point. Back down to Malone. Malone kind of chips that one in, almost goes off the skate of Grugan. Buff State's going to skate this one out on their own. 2-on-2 chance here. They cross the line. They're just going to dump that one down into the corner. That is Willick. Willick stays on the pressure, though, as Webster throws it up to Shines. Shines chips it back to Webster. A little bit out of reach. She's going to have to skate for that one. Goes around Silva. Webster looks in front for Shines. That one goes into the skate of Ademi. Zemlak drops it down to Grugan. Grugan in front and a shot from Malone. That one's a backhand. Goes straight into the mask of Augie and back down into the trapper.
Another good save by Augie. It seems like we say it time and time again, but she has really kept him in this game. And it's a no-brainer. You got 30 seconds left on the power play. On the penalty by Tingley, and Oswego already 19 shots on goal, and we were sitting here before the game even started wondering how many shots will Oswego end up firing on Augie, because she has seen plenty from this Lakers squad over the last 2 years. Last year was no different, and it was interesting to see how many shots Oswego will fire away on this, but good on-man rush here.
And McGrath way off on that one. Tried to drag the toe, just going a little bit too fast, couldn't slow down enough. Face-off's going to be at the near side face-off circle in the neutral zone. They're going to throw it to the other side, far side face-off. Taking the draw for Oswego is Haas. Haas is going to win that one over to Hull. Hull's going to dump it down in. Off the skates of Bednarik. Oswego has now a chance. Haas throws it back to Bednarik. Back down Hull. Zenstein at the point. Full strength Buffalo State. Haas takes this one to the top of the circle. Shoots that one down, trying to find an Oswego stick. McGrath tries to backhand that one. Bednarik with a shot. That one gets lost. Hits a Buff State player. Looks like it hit a Buff State player in the wrist there. As Augie covers that one up. Play stopped. Face off in the near side face off circle. You know, that's one of the parts of defense, Turch. You got to be willing to put your body on the line, and sometimes it does hurt, but it's one of the sacrifices that you make for the betterment of your team.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, the accuracy choice on that probably wouldn't have been the best, as you saw a couple Buffalo State defenders in traffic. Maybe send one a little lower, right around the ankle level, maybe try and get through, as you'd have a better chance there. But overall, another shot on goal that Oswego is able to take. They're generating opportunities. Granted, they have the lead. I don't think they're very, in a way, adamant to potentially add more goals onto the scoreboard when it's really not needed. You have the lead, and this is a team where you expect to have the lead. So I think Oswego's kind of just content with where they're at right now.
Yeah, playing a bit more safe this period. Haven't been as aggressive as they were in the first. But Booth's going to come back and grab that one at the Laker wheel. Burke, bit of pressure there. Couldn't get it. Buffalo State coming down. That one's going to be dumped down in by Willick. Preston picks it up in the near side corner. Up to Malone. Malone tries to make a move, but it's intercepted by Buff State. Buff State with a shot. That one's blocked away down into the corner. Pinching down, keeping that one in is Ademi. Ademi has it. She's going to get a shot on net and an opportunity in front. Garrow almost had that one just a little bit out of her range. Couldn't grab it as McGrath, quick toe drag, gets around there. A little bit of space, dumps it out. They got to regroup. Ademi throws it across the ice. Thrown up, nobody connects on it as Ademi's going to have to go back and get it again. She's looking up the ice for Silva. Silva with a toe drag. She gets around Grugan. Another move. She gets past Mucha. She's just going to dump that one down on net for Levy. No Buff State players in the zone. They're going to have to play it. Corbett tries to make a move there. Faces a few Buff State players. Webster, they throw it in front. Puck lost in a bunch of skates. Webster gets it. Throws it up the boards at the circle. And Buff State, a bit of a turnaround here. They're keeping the puck in. Is that Groh has a chance there. Groh throws it on net. Goes down into the corner there from 2 big saves on Levy. Back behind the net, still battling for it. Zemlak tries throwing it, but it hits a Bengal body. Mucha can't get that one out. She gets tied up. Thrown down on net. That one deflects off the glove of Levy. Grugan, 2-on-2 chance for the Lakers. Grugan makes a good move around. She tries to tuck it. And 2 great saves by Augie there, both with the toe of the pad. Shutting down Kylie Grugan on 2 amazing opportunities there.
And another good save by Augie. Kylie Grugan with the swift move to cut back, gets a shot off the pad. Right placement, Augie kicks it right back to her stick and adds 1 more save. So a good sequence by Grugan, an even better save sequence by Augie. But on the other hand, you look at Buffalo State, they're having some good offensive opportunities as well over the last few shifts. You see Oswego looking to try and fly that defensive zone a little bit higher. They're not as much dropping down below the circles as much. They're trying to be able to rush on the outside and be able to carry that breakout to the top of the blue line. But Buffalo State, on the other hand, they have other ideas. A majority of their forecheck is down beneath the circles.
As Preston takes this one down, she tries to chip it off to Conboy. That one just goes into the pads of a Buffalo player. Coming up now is Cruzal. Cruzal's going to take it towards center ice. Tries stick handling that one a little bit too far out of range, and a shot from Tingley. That one goes into the chest of Levy, and we're going to throw it back down to the corner to Jared Wakefield. And Jared, take us away for us.
So let's take a look down here. The row, Mia Conboy, very classic look. Some nice letters there. Kylie Grugan, big old cowboy hat there. And Taylor Hudon with the classic look down there as we continue to work our way down. Ariella Haas, a nice little picture thing right there. Nice little collage, some nice little pen work there. And then we get down to Zenstein, a lot of color, a lot of pop. Some polka dots on Avery Webster, a little Becky in the corner. Not sure what that means. Lauren Jones, some candy canes, a crown, an emoji. Some schmuck standing in the middle. And then we got Morgan Shines with some exercise stuff and a little bit of frills here and there. So, you know, if there's any opportunity, here's your sign. But cool to see a lot of creativity down here, a fun way to honor the seniors. And standing down here at the end of the boards, we have a little stoppage and play, a little timeout. Boys in the booth, what do you guys think of the signs?
Well, overall, definitely a lot of creativity. You mentioned the Morgan Shines one. Shinesy being named after the fitness test that they have at the beginning of the year, and obviously they do it on both sides, the men's hockey team as well as the women's hockey team doing a fit performance test, and whoever beats the record time that's been set by previous years obviously gets the new name. And Morgan Shines has been told time and time again by the rest of her teammates that she is the fitness person in the room, and clearly so, the test being named after her. But overall, Oswego calling timeout. I think it's the right time for it. I don't think you're going to need it at the end of the game. A little bit of a reset. You've kind of been, in a way, it's almost like a boxing match. You've been trading hits back and forth over the last few minutes, and I don't think Coach Digby really wants that. I think he says, hey, guys, we're getting a little bit carried away with this. How do we go? We're going to have to settle it back, okay? We got to move back to what we've been working on. What are we trying to improve upon going into 2 weeks from now against Cortland or whoever you're playing in that semifinal?
Yeah, they got to reel it in a little bit. The nerves getting on edge. You can tell Buffalo State starting to get some more chances as the second period has gone on. As right there, Silva cuts across. Picked up back behind the net by Booth. Booth just going to pound that one off the boards, and it's going to go all the way down, but it hits Augie, so no icing is called. We'll have a face-off at the near side circle. 11:23 to go in the second period.
That puck had eyes right on goal, and you never saw it settle down. It was constantly on side rolling right down to the paddle of Augie, and she was able to cover it up. But the one thing I've noticed in this second period, we've seen a lot more whistles than we have in that first period. A lot of stoppages here in this second period, whereas the first period, a little bit different, a lot more possession time.
As Haas dumps that one off to Kirkostas, she tries to get it, but Augie shuts that one down. Back up, Webster takes a shot from the point. Easy glove save for Augie.
And not a lot of net traffic there is what I noticed on that. Webster getting a good shot through. Not really a lot of traffic there. You saw Haas being able to slide her way in there, potentially to see if any rebound opportunities come up, but nonetheless, Oswego has the possession time, but it hasn't been constant.
As the same play, deja vu right there. Another shot from the point that's easily stopped by Augie, and another face-off in the same location. And like you said, Turge, really they have possession of the puck, but they're not getting quality chances like they were in that first period. As it's thrown up the boards a little bit, Silva with it now. Silva tries to bounce it around to Costas. Webster with a shot, big block at the point from Guerrero. Picked up by Webster. Webster's going to look for Kirkostas' far side. That one's going to be intercepted by Ademi. Webster going to take this one up herself. Dances around a Buffalo State player. Dances around a few of them. Play in front, and a good chip shot from Haas there, just trying to get something on net. Throwing it across the point to Zemlak. Zemlak's going to fire that one down on. Looking for a tip, and a good keeping from Webster. Webster throws it over to Shines. Shines tries to rip it in front, hoping Hudon can get a rebound chance there. Corbett throws it back behind the net to Shines again. Shines trying to find someone in front, but it finds a Buffalo stick. Taking it up now is Cruzall. Cruzall's going to get the red line, throw it down on net. Webster picks it up again. She's been controlling the puck a lot along this shift as she goes for a change. Convoy's taking it down the far side wing. Convoy cuts back behind the net, tries to wrap around, puts that one right into the pillow of Augie. That one's dumped down in, regrouped center ice by Preston. Preston whiffs on that one. Whiffs on another one. Zenstein's going to get it now. Throws it up. That one hits the stick of Hudon. Icing's going to be called, but I thought it hit Hudon's stick after the red line. But the refs have the call, not us, so it'll be icing all the way back down to the other end.
And it goes down to the Oswego State defensive zone. The one thing that I've noticed, on the other hand, Lexi Levy, a couple of times where Buffalo has thrown it on goal, it's been a spinning puck. And at that point, that's a little bit scary on the goaltending end. You're afraid if you have your paddle down, it might skip over your shoulder. That's happened to me. It's not an enjoyable time. And nonetheless, you look at this team, and they've been playing very, very sound.
As Holt jumps around that one. And I can totally see that one happening to your Turge, having it jump right over your shoulder. I can see it happening to you. You know, next a little sunburnt from that red light. Back behind the net, Buff State takes it. Picked up once more by Jackson, and that one's just going to be stopped by Augie. 8:52 here to go in the second period of play. Oswego still leads 3-0. No goals so far in the second period for the Lakers after a red-hot start in the first couple of minutes. Haven't been able to get anything going so far. As taking the draw on this one is Kenzie Malone, one of the best centers in D3 hockey, winning a vast majority of her faceoffs so far throughout the season.
Absolutely, and the transfer from Augsburg has definitely played very well for Mark Digby. 14 points this year, 4 goals and 10 assists. You look at her, she was on that same line with Haas for a little bit, but I think putting Malone on that line with Bednark and Hall, 2 goal scorers, it's able to create a sense of inclusion, a little bit of assist and goal scorer type of combo that allows a nice little sandwich in between 2 goal scorers and a playmaker to create a nice offensive combo. Against a team like Buff State, it's a good way to practice some things, especially with this line that's really been together for a majority of the games and really since the beginning of the season.
You just give them time to work out some new strategies, try out some new plays, new looks. As wide open is Kirkostas, but Burke gets it coming off the bench instead. Kirkostas goes down in the corner, and she's been having a good stretch of a couple of games as she takes down a player there. Back behind the net, 3 Oswego players below the red line. Burke up to Webster. Webster with a shot. That one finds the stick of Haas, but then goes into Augie's pad. Haas picks up the loose puck, and Haas a little bit of a dangle, and that one goes in. She tucks that one right in, and happy senior night, Ariella Haas. She gets the 4th goal of the game for the Lakers, and that one was a stick handling clinic right there, Turge.
Absolutely, this smooth finish out in front of goal against Jessica Augie. Ariella Haas being able to tally another goal in her career, now goal number 26 for her in her career, and just easily made Augie bit on that slight hesitation, being able to tuck it outside on her forehand and just tuck it home to make it a 4-0 game. It's been quite some time since Oswego has lit the lamp, so why not make it a senior here with 7:30 remaining in the second?
And now 4-0 lead for the Lakers. This game seems to be getting a little bit out of hand as it's been going on. Jared Wakefield's prediction of 7-0, looking like a bit more of a possibility than we all thought.
Mine's close, but it's not looking too good, Kyle. I will admit that.
Not looking too good for Turge here when it comes to prediction rankings, but it's okay. Sometimes you got to take the L on predictions. Looking for Preston at the point. That one poked a bit too far. Couldn't get a hand on that one as Preston takes it down far side on her own. Now she's going to shoot that one. That one gets deflected over the top of the net as McGrath throws it back to Grugan. Grugan takes a hit. It's just wrapped over into the corner. Stopped by Preston at the point. Preston with another shot. That one goes wide. Corbett battling for it now. And back behind the net, Buffalo State picks it up. Quick escape turn there for Surik. Thrown in front, and Shines with a shot opportunity. That one almost got redeflected by a Buffalo State stick, but Augie covers it up, no problem.
In a quick last-minute deflection by her own teammate on the defensive end, Augie has to react very quickly. Although the puck might have slowed down a little bit, she still has to be able to find her shape again in her posture and be able to cover that puck on the last-second opportunity.
And a good save there from Augie. Good puck awareness as behind the net, Hudon's battling for it. Hudon takes it out, and she finds Shines back door, and another goal. 5-0 the Lakers lead now. And what? They've just been having an excellent display of passing so far in this game. They've been finding them good backdoor looks. All the passes are tape to tape. The Lakers are playing solid offense right now, Turge.
Absolutely, and you said the first period was the sophomore period. How about this period being the senior period? Morgan Shines and Ariella Haas, both part of that senior class, both getting on the scoreboard here in the second period, both in a matter of minutes. Morgan Shines able to tally on the scoreboard. Now 5-0 Oswego State, courtesy of Morgan Shines.
As Booth brings that one in, she takes a little bit of a hit and dumps it in. Like you said, 2 seniors and 3 sophomores getting goals here today. Nobody repeating any goals, so a good team performance from the Lakers so far. No juniors or freshmen yet, but there's still a period and 6 minutes to go to see with that. As Malone gets a little bit of pressure on him there. Goes out Hall. Hall chips it up. Malone's going to take it down. Malone with a little bit of a stick handle there. Toe drag. Throws it back up to Jones at the point. Jones is going to try to get that one, and it's going to go to the neutral zone. We're going to send it sideline to Jared Wakefield and see what he's got to say.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here in the Hockey Hall of Fame. A lot of men's hockey history in here, but there's also women's hockey history here as well. As we take a look down here, the first ever women's hockey program here. First one in a while. They did a little bit of stuff, but the first NCAA D3 program here. 2006, 2007, the same year the men's team won the championship. Season 16 for the women's team right now. They'll enter season 17 here in the fall, guys. A lot of cool history here in Oswego, and some of these players out on the ice right now. Amanda Zenstein, Avery Webster, some of the longest tenured Oswego women's hockey players in the program's history. And guys, been a pretty fun game so far. 5-0 Oswego, and some cool history here in the Hall of Fame. Back to you.
And thanks, Jared. A little bit of a cool background there. Getting to some more info on the women's hockey team is a huge block there from Rhea Zemlak. The men's team obviously has quite some notoriety here, but the women's team is just as exciting and just as good as the men's team is. just a solid all-around hockey school and a hockey program here in Oswego.
Absolutely, and we talked with it's a little bit interesting to see that senior class we mentioned in the pregame show, the ones that have been here all 4 years, Comboy, Grugan Shines, and Webster. They were here in a way to the pre-Mark Digby era. Coach Digby was an associate head coach back in 2019-2020, and then obviously Diane Dillon was the head coach at that time. So it's interesting to see how things have changed over the last few years. And talking with Kylie Grugan this week, she said it wasn't really much of a transition, being able to have Digby not only as an assistant bench boss and really the second chief in charge during the 2019-20 season. She said it really didn't change much, and it was an easy way to adapt as he was there pretty much the entire time that this senior class was there. So it's interesting to see what this team has come through and been through as they came back to play last year.
And that's really all you want when you're going through a coaching change. You want it to not affect the players, because obviously whole different coaches have whole different systems. So you want it to be as seamless as a transition as possible. So having somebody who's already been in the system, already knows the players, has worked with them, has built a connection with them, it's going to be a lot easier to jump into that than somebody who has no idea or any history of the program. As bodies are flying all over the ice there, and Shine slides in. What a goal there! She slides on her knees, picks it up, hops right up, and pokes it 5-hole. What a shot. Morgan Shines have a day. 2 goals on her special senior day. She is on fire right now.
And a quick timeout response by the Buffalo State Bengals. Head coach Rachel Gramp clearly not amused, and a good block by Morgan Shine. She crouches down, able to get that good block. The puck is spinning in the forward direction, which creates the benefit of the doubt, able to sashay her way in and just beat it over the blocker side of Jessica Augie to create a 6-0 game for Oswego State. Morgan Shine's now her 22nd goal in her collegiate career, and obviously this year now her 5th on the year for Morgan Shine. So a good time to start putting the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, and what a play that was. Just really a one-woman show right there, coming down, drops to the knee, blocks that, hops right up like it's absolute nothing, and doesn't waste any time. 1-2 strides, rips it on net, gets it past the blocker, and now they got a 6-0 lead, 2:49 to go in the period. In terms, obviously, we know that given the history, Oswego normally has a good track record against Buffalo State, but did you think it was going to be this out of hand this early?
To be honest, I did not, and I expected it to be a competitive game. Buffalo State being able to tally some goals on the other hand against Oswego in the last few opportunities, but nonetheless, Oswego has been able to provide some offense themselves, and clearly is shown on the score. But it's 6-0, and we haven't even entered the third period yet. Last game these two teams played, a 3-1 game is your final, and clearly we're far past that now. But on the other hand, you look at Oswego, you want your offense to be high-flying in this game. Granted, it's 2 points nonetheless, but it's a very positive note. It breaks some players out of some slumps. Lizzie Burke getting on the scoreboard, Riley Preston generating some offensive opportunities. So you got a lot of positive takeaways to go from this.
Yeah, and like you said, getting some new players involved in the scoring that usually aren't the highest point totals on Oswego, getting those other players involved, especially as it is the senior day. You have some big pieces of this team moving out within the next couple of weeks. You really want to get those other players more adjusted into leadership roles, get them ready for the coming seasons, and you just like to see that. And especially given how their performance has been within the last couple of weeks. Obviously, get shut out last night against Cortland. And Serena Alvarez shuts them down. They had a big 5-goal night against Potsdam, but they needed a scoring performance like this. Give the offense their confidence back a little bit as the Newell playoffs are coming up soon. They want to be as poised offensively and sound defensively as they possibly can before they go into those matchups.
Absolutely, and then you go into this weekend, they were winning 4 out of their last 5 matchups, and then prior to those 5 matchups was the weekend they went up to Plattsburgh. A very competitive weekend for this Oswego State team. I think we've really all gathered across the conference as a whole. Those top 3 teams, being Cortland, Plattsburgh, Oswego, are a lot closer than you really think. Cortland beating Plattsburgh obviously earlier in the year. Oswego had a tie against Plattsburgh until the final minutes in the game 1 up at Plattsburgh. And then obviously when they came down here, it was a really close game as well. So you look, as much as you want to say Plattsburgh is still high and mighty above the rest, it's a very competitive top 3 in this conference.
Without a doubt, very competitive conference as Malone comes in, makes a little move of her own, pokes that one down on net. Easy save for Augie. She covers that one up. And yeah, really, going off what you were just talking about, Serge, I mean, it's such a close neck-and-neck race when it comes to the Newell. You got Plattsburgh. They're one of the top 4 teams in the nation almost every single year, it seems like. But Cortland goes and Cortland knocks them earlier in the year up in Plattsburgh. Huge win for Cortland there. And then they play Oswego pretty close. Oswego beats Cortland twice out of the 3 matchups they faced. Whenever those 3 teams are involved in a matchup, it really is just a matter of who shows up that night, more or less.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really a team where you need to find your rhythm. I feel like with Coach Digby, I've talked with him week in and week out over the last season as a whole, and he's talking about with his team, he really wants, as much as he wants to find an identity with this team, he wants to find consistency, and he wants those to really pair well with each other. And with those 2, he hopes to bring a lot of positivity to this program, recruiting, with the culture that they want to bring in. The players have talked a lot about the culture, and the key word they love is grit, and they love working hard for this team, and they all buy into the same system. But the thing is, it is a team effort. And you look at this team going forward in a big weekend overall. They lose against Cortland last night. It was a tough game to lose. But at the same time, you look at how competitive Cortland is. Those last 4 games were a split against the Red Dragons. Granted, Oswego would take the first 2 early in November, but Cortland would not let them allow the sweep going into that 3rd game last night. So you look overall, those 2 teams, that 2 and 3 seed, you look at Cortland and Oswego, it's really, really competitive between those 2. Oswego obviously getting the loss against Potsdam earlier in the year, and then the loss against Canton this past week hurt a bit, and obviously hurt for their standings as well. So at the end of the day, you move forward, you're up 6-0 going into this 3rd period against Buffalo State, and you're just really looking to iron out those wrinkles in your team crest at this point to just try and get the job done, get your 2 points, move forward, take a nice break off next week, work hard in practice, fix any more little tiny things that you don't think is working to the top tier that you want it to be, and then that way you're ready to go for playoffs.
Yeah, and it's a really important confidence booster here this weekend. Just getting the kinks out, like you said, just getting it working, a nice oiled machine. But Jared's down in the hallway with Morgan Shines, the 2 goals for her senior day so far. So we send it down to Jared for his excellent interview skills.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm down here with Morgan Shines, and Morgan, a quiet first 10 minutes of the period on both sides, but in the second period here, the last 10 minutes, you guys just popped off and you put 2 on the board. What was that switch flip in the second period?
I think just one line started to get it rolling, and then everyone returned the energy, and we just kept going and going after each other, and I think we just lift each other on the bench, and when it's loud, we play well, so I think that's what it was.
Okay, I can see that. That makes sense. Now let's have a little bit of fun with it. Senior day, we got all the posters down there on the boards. What was the process of making the posters? How did those come together?
Well, I'm not really sure because I wasn't a part of it, but last night I guess they all got together and each did a few boards, and it was good.
Okay, and talking to players about what some things they do on game day, we asked Ariella Haas about any pregame superstitions. What's the pregame playlist look like?
Oh, we got to play the same playlist every time. We all added songs to Spotify, and it just rolls.
Any highlights?
No.
Okay, fair enough. So Morgan Shines 2 goals there in the second period. Guys, I'll throw it back up to you.
And thank you, Jared, for that insight. Getting the real questions everyone wants to know. Need to know the music, need to know what's going on to get the ladies hyped before the game. So we're going to send it to a quick break, and when we come back, Jared will be up in the press box with us for the second intermission report. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned here on WTOP 10.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's split a ride home. Look at that, it's so sad.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
13-10 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions from Tanner Spink.
Go to 2-1.
We're 6-10 on the year.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you. Your barber. Your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
And after 2 periods of play, the Oswego State Lakers have run away with the lead as they lead 6-0 over the Buffalo State Bengals here in the Deb. Shots 36-16. I'm Kyle Spizak. Joining me is Jared Bob Ross, Wakefield, and then we got Thomas Fake Canadian Turgeon.
Wow!
I had to throw out the shots early on. But a really good second period for the Lakers. Same thing as the first, almost deja vu. 3 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second.
Absolutely, but Jared, a completely different start of the second period, and I'm sure you're going to agree. You look at that second period, it was really 50-50 in those first few minutes. Oswego obviously scoring early in that first period. The second period, different story, although 3 goals is 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, the first 10 minutes of that period were really good, and there's the first one that came after that 10-minute mark. Ariella Haas getting that one in. Haas and Burke link up again there. Excellent play there. But, I mean, the thing for me, Terps, first 10 minutes, Buffalo State, good defense. They're not allowing the Lakers any space, not letting them go anything. There's Shinesy's first of the afternoon there, getting it around to Augie. But Augie played really, really well, had a phenomenal save on a breakaway, able to stretch that pad out and across. And for her size, extremely mobile, extremely good, and a lot of good reach on the pads, and probably stopped a few pucks that certainly should have gone in, and Shines beats her there again on the blocker side and the pads. But a solid game for Augie. She's already seen more than a game's worth of shot at 36. I think she might even see close to 60. But Buff State, you could see they're only running 3 forward lines, an extra skater, 3 deep pairs. You could see the fatigue set in, and once it set in, the Lakers just sailed the ship and crashed it right into port and blew through the Buffalo State Bengals line.
Well, Thomas, I think he covered just about everything, but we got to give you your licks, so we'll be nice. We'll let you go on about what you think.
All right, overall, I look at this game as a whole. We've mentioned it time and time again. It's all about working on the little things. And you look at that last goal with Morgan Shines able to crouch down, get a really exclusive block right off the shoulder. It finally goes to her stick, able to carry it right in and just rip it right past Augie. It's just those small little things that are going to get Oswego into this playoff race, and it'll potentially propel them past Cortland. You look at Cortland last night, they did a lot of little things very, very well. I think Oswego just needs to be able to work off of that, and clearly they're bouncing off of that today.
Yeah, and the big thing is that Oswego can take into the playoffs, looking big picture, is that they beat Cortland twice before. They had beaten Gorgon. They put 2 up against her in the first one, and they were able to get a 1-0 nice little shutout win in the Alumni Arena. That was huge for morale early on in the year. While they couldn't pull it off last night, when you put up 6, potentially more, 6 goals through 40 minutes of hockey, that's pretty good so far. That's more than a goal every 10 minutes, and if you can do that repeatedly against a team like Buff State, it'll be good momentum. They can learn some things, try some things as well. The last 20 minutes, you're up 6-0. It would take a collapse greater than the fall of Rome to see a Buff State comeback here, unfortunately for Buff State Bengals fans. But Oswego, you can mix up lines, you can mix up pairs, you can try things. I wonder if we'll see Joanna Heber, maybe even Rachel Braze come out, maybe take a few pucks in the game situation, get them nice and loose, get them seeing game pucks where some things get screened a little bit, a little bit more chaos than you'll see in a practice scrim. So a lot of options for Coach Mark Digby, and something he'll be really happy to see on a day that's been really kind to the seniors so far.
And given the fact that we do have 2 all-star intramural goalies here, given respective different sports, we're going to take a look at some of Augie's saves, as we got a little bit of a highlight reel in that, as she has seen 36 shots so far in this game. Take a look at this. Church, I'll start with you because you're a hockey goalie. Give us your rundown.
The actual goalie.
Well, I think Jessica Augie is very good down low, and her lateral movements are very crisp. The thing is, yes, size is definitely a question mark, but she's making the very routine saves. She made some very good breakaway saves as well. We remember that one in the first period, another good blocker save. Morgan Shines finally got Augie's number in that second period, not once but twice. But she's made a couple good quality saves to keep it. Could be a lot more than 6-0, but overall, check out that one, being able to drop down to the barfly, being able to slide across and regather your shape, regather your form, Jared. I think it's just really crucial, just the little things as a goaltender for Buffalo State.
Yeah, that's been the huge one too. The other thing I've liked and that I've been watching is, you watch her helmet. She tracks the puck extremely well. Even on the few times she got beat, she kind of had an idea of where that puck was going. It was just good shot placement by the Lakers that got by. So Augie, especially for her size, a really solid goaltender. Good with the glove as well. Something you look for in goalies very often is you want that nose to the glove. You want to follow that puck all the way in after it stops, know where that puck is at all times. And even through the screens, Augie's looked really good. She's looked really good on some of the tougher shots. Those screen shots and some of those breakaway shots, that breakaway save makes that first save, puck comes out, and she's able to spread across and not allow any holes, and allows that puck to get buried right into her pad and keeps Buff State in that game, especially early in that second period, but a defensive breakdown, and eventually the goalie can't do it all. If you have a man advantage for long enough in the zone, you spend enough time getting pressure, a defenseman's gonna get pulled out of position. The offensive team is going to score. So not a lot Augie could do on a couple of those, but she's had a pretty solid performance. 6 goals on 36 shots, 30 saves. It's a pretty good night.
Yeah, and given Buffalo State has had quite a rough night when it comes to score total, what are some things that they can do here in this third period to give them a little bit of a boost, something they can hang their hat on, given going into the last week or 2 of the season?
Well, ironically enough, 2 years ago, back in the 2019-20 season, we were in this exact same boat. Oswego State, Buffalo State, senior day, Buffalo State already eliminated, Oswego State already clinched for the playoffs. So in a way, you look at that. For Buffalo State, I think you're turning to your freshmen and sophomores at this point. You want to see what you can build off of. going into next year. This year they already had something that they didn't have in last year's season, and that is a conference win. So you're able to build off of that, but at the same time, I think you got to find your balance, give your seniors the credit they deserve for putting in the effort, putting in the hard work all season long over their last 4 collegiate careers. So Jared, on the other hand, for you, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I agree with a lot of things you said, Serge. You turn to those younger players. The good thing for the seniors is that this isn't the last game they'll play, but they're going to go up against a very tough Plattsburgh Cardinals program that's already clinched the 1 seed in the Newell, and they're the 3 seed in the nation in the USCHO poll at home to end their season. But, that's an opportunity to spoil and upset. Like, hey, this game, it's not going to hurt Plattsburgh if we beat them, so let's take them to task. Buff State looking to the future, looking to try and build a little bit more depth. Their freshmen and sophomores are their high point, but the seniors and juniors have gotten that program to that point. And, hey, this year, 7 wins. Last year, they were only able to muster 1. So this is a program that's heading in the right direction in the midst of a rebuild, and that can be very hard to do at a college program, especially at the Division III level. But I have some good faith in that Buffalo program if they can get goaltenders like Jessica Augie and a few of their other skaters who have had solid years so far and continue building on that. In a few years, they could easily find themselves battling for that 4 and maybe even that 3 spot in the Newell playoffs.
I definitely agree with you guys there. Getting the younger players in is going to be crucial. But Oswego, they've been on fire so far this game. What are some of the smaller things that they've done really well in this game? Because obviously scoring they've done a fantastic job at. We're better than that. Let's dig a bit deeper. What are some small things they've done well?
Absolutely, and granted, their scoring has been very noticeable, but the one thing that really stands out to me is how well their forecheck has been. Their F1 is being able to forecheck hard, F2 the trailer, F3 right on that side boards, because Buffalo State liking to force things along the outside edge. So their forecheck is being very crisp in the way they attack Buffalo State's defenders and not really letting anything slip. So I think it's going to be their forecheck that's been very well so far this game. Jared, I'm sure you have other thoughts.
I think the big thing for me is I've noticed that they've been able to maintain possession really well. The defenseman and that center playing in the F3 position, playing up at the top of the slot. They've been able to do a good job of preventing Buffalo State from getting it clear. Buffalo State, they find a little open ice, they send it down. Amanda Zenstein or Mia Convoy or someone playing up high is there to get that puck corral, and they start the cycle again. It's that relentless pressure that's found on success. One thing I think they could do a touch better, and I've seen it in minuscule, and I mean minuscule parts, a couple bad giveaways. The F2 trying to come in, trying to cycle in, get it down low to the F1 right in front of the net. A couple bad giveaways, just cutting to the slot, not keeping their head up, not tracking the Buffalo State defenseman. Any defenseman, even in a beer league, that's an easy poke check, get that puck out, and have one of your forwards come get it and start the breakout. So just be mindful of turning into the slot. Try to stay in the slot adjacent area. Maybe avoid cutting the slot unless it is wide open, and I mean wide open, plenty of clear daylight. But that only happened a little bit in the first period, once or twice in the second period in the last 10 minutes. Not at all. They were flawless in their execution and their puck protection.
Yeah, without a doubt. I would say their cycling is probably the best thing that they've done all game, and it's been looking really good. But we're going to send it to break. And when we come back, we got a little bit of a surprise for you in the third period because this schmuck's going to be joining us on the call. So don't go anywhere. Couple of minutes, period 3 puck drop. Don't go anywhere here on WTOP 10.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jared said he'll be back. I think he said he had to grab like his water bottle or something. It was my I'll be back piece of paper. I've been using that quite often today. Yeah.
12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
And we are back inside the depth for period 3 action. As you can see on screen, that is the producer of the greatest sports show that there is on WTOP 10, Sports Talk, Mr. Garrett Chan right there alongside our co-host, Maddie Durant. That's right, Turge. It is a little bit better than Laker Connections. I'm sorry I got to do it to you, but...
You're lucky I'm old.
Yeah,
You're lucky I'm old.
Turge is an old guy over here, big senior guy, and it appears we have a curveball to start this third period as Rachel Braze is going to get in net for the Lakers. Braze hasn't seen a game yet this year. She will get her first licks on the season on senior night here at home as the Lakers are up 6-0 on Buffalo State to start the third period. Jessica Augie in net still for the Bengals as she is the only goaltender on the roster today. And Turge, how excited are you to see Braze get her first licks on the year?
Well, good for her. Like she's been with this team. She played a couple times last year, didn't get the start in any of them. Obviously, a couple were a little bit games out of fashion where there was a couple switcheroos, but good for Rachel Braze being in the lineup, getting this third period. It's a confidence booster. It's a well-reflected thank you for, in a way, thank you for helping out. Thank you for just being a great teammate in the lineup, out of the lineup, in practice. But good for her overall, Jared. Welcome back to the press box as Rachel Braze now in between the pipes on senior day.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. You know, Rachel Braze, a goaltender for the Spencerport High School women's hockey team. You know, a lot of these players here on this women's team have played some level of, junior women's hockey or some level of travel. Braze primarily playing for that Spencerport team, and she's going to get a big showing here. Let's see what she can do. She's got 20 minutes on the clock. Buff State 16 shots so far. Let's see how many they hit number 50 with.
As right off the bat, the Lakers are already down in Buff State zone as Zemlak takes a shot from the point. That one's going to be redirected off the glass. Down in the corner, Malone's got it now. Malone's going to kick it towards the middle. She's looking for Hull in front. Hull gets tied up, can't get a shot off. Back up to Webster at the point. Webster takes a shot. That one goes deflecting behind the net as Malone's battling with a Buff State player there. Buff State's going to break it out. Cruzall takes a big hit at the red line. Can't get the puck across the red line before she dumps it in. Icing. 19-17 left to go in the period.
Well, I think we saw exactly what we expected to start off this third period. A couple good span of 10 seconds apiece. Obviously, Buffalo State with the icing. Oswego State being very aggressive on that forecheck and really just keeping things sound. Obviously, they're up 6-0. They don't want to get carried away, but on the other hand, they don't want to make Rachel Braze face too much trouble, Jared.
No, and Alexa Groh, pretty good for Buff State here. She skates her way in and dumps it in. Alexa Groh, a really good shift right now. A long one already as we're already a minute in. Looking for a 45-second shift. That's your nice shift length right there. But she's already been on the ice for a minute. Good defensive effort on Kenzie Malone there before that face-off. She was stick lifting Malone and really didn't allow the Lakers to get any more chances on Augie other than that one stick save that went off the glass. So Alexa Groh, a good two-way game.
As Haas has this now, it's a 3-on-1 chance for the Lakers. Haas drops it off to McGrath, and she sails that one wide, but a great opportunity on the 3-on-1. Buff State now taking it up the other way. They're going to get the red line and just dump that one down in. Little bit of a forecheck there. They can't get to it as Oswego has all the open ice in the world to skate with it. Grugan, she's going to move it up to McGrath, but McGrath takes a body. Mucha picks it up. Mucha throws a backhand trying to find Zenstein coming down. Couldn't connect on that one.
Trailer was just a little unhitched, Kyle.
Just a little bit too far off. Couldn't connect on it. And now Buff State coming the other way. McGrath picks that one off, and she gets another shot on net. That one goes straight in the breadbasket of Augie.
A very great pinch by Ashlyn McGrath there, able to pinch right on the top of the circle. Not as much as what you see on the defensive side of things, but on the winger side of things, it's a great pinch, right spot, good poke check, gets an opportunity on Augie, but good save in that right shoulder.
And Shines takes the face off there. Jones has it at the point. Jones take a shot. That one's a little bit wide. And Jared, sorry, almost called you Garrett. We highlighted Garrett down in the corner during the opening of this period. But Jared, you were talking about Jones' shot from the point and how she does get a lot of shots on net. A lot of them don't get blocked. How crucial is that for the Lakers defense?
I mean, that's been huge. They have struggled. You know, I look back to a few losses. That one to Cortland last night, I look back at that loss as Plattsburgh, as Augie covers that one up. I look back at those as were games where one of the biggest things I noticed was that the defense on the blue line, I don't want to say ineffective offensively because they had good passing. Their passes were good, but shooting from the honey holes near on the circles just wasn't working. They were getting locked off really easily, but Jones able to pinpoint a location. Not the hardest shot on the team, but a well-placed one as she passes that one down to Corbett.
And Corbett throws that one, and Shines tries to tip that one down in, trying to alley-oop it almost. That one was about 10 feet high. That one goes back behind the net, and Corbett's just going to dump that one back down for Hudon. Cycle. That one's thrown in front, looking for a Oswego player, but Willick intercepts it. Willick's coming up along the side now. Willick takes a shot, and Braze punches that one aside. Her first save of the season right there. That one's intercepted at the blue line by Jackson. Jackson tried getting in, but Jones shut it down. Corbett couldn't get a stick on that one, and it's going to turn to an icing. And we haven't really seen anybody stand out for Buffalo State so far, but they have had a few players that have been playing a little bit more noticeable than the rest of the team. Third-year player to watch, Vanessa Willick. And then I've noticed Mia Silva's been doing a decent amount out there as well for the Bengals.
Absolutely, and I think really with this team, you're looking at players that are going to be able to step up in the lineup.
And a clapper from the point. That one knuckle pucks its way in. A great shot from the point. That one coming off of the stick of Ursel. Ursel just rips that one, and that was literally the Mighty Ducks knuckle puck. It went up, and then it went right down over Braze. She couldn't really do anything over that. It dropped after her head.
It's just an unfortunate turn of events for Braze, and overall a great screen in front by Bethany Horvatis. And you can tell it looks like Braze didn't even see it until the last minute. And you saw that nice little arcing away, that the knuckle puck, as you mentioned, Kyle, is 6-1 game now. Although the shutout is broken, it was a good shot, but on the end of the day, you're still up 5.
And now all of our predictions are ruined. Sorry, Jared, you were so close.
I still feel like it's the Price is Right. Like, I got the closest. I'm still over, so I need one or two more from Oswego, but I feel like right now we're in good shape. But for Braze, I mean, that's some cinema magic puck luck right there. But a good shot by Ursel, shot hard. A wicked clap bomb. I mean, that was impressive. But it hit about every player on the ice and then went bar down. And for Braze, a tough one. A smaller goaltender stays up. Probably the right idea on that play in the blocker. Just unable to get it. Saw it at the last second, not quite enough, and Ursel goes bar down.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird play. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this doesn't look like baseball, but that was a 12-6 curveball right there. As Hull's going to pick that one back up in the corner. Goes up to Bednarik at the point. Bednarik's just going to dump that one back down in. Have somebody chase it down the corner. That's going to be Haas, but Buffalo State beats them to it, wraps it around the corner. Groh picks it up in the corner. Groh battling with Webster.
Starting to get a little chippy here, Kyle. Alexa Groh and Simone Bednarik here in front of the bench. Bednarik trying to get the bench. Groh took her away. They exchange a few shoves to the face mask before Bednarik got to the bench.
Yeah, when you're down as much as you are right now, if you're Buff State, it gets frustrating. As Kyrkostas gets a shot in front, it gets a bit frustrating when you're down in a game like this. And the Lakers have a lot to lose. Buff State, they've been eliminated from playoff contention already. So if they want to get more physical, they can. They can use that to get inside the Lakers' heads. The Lakers haven't taken a penalty yet this game, which is quite impressive. So try to get them in that penalty trouble. As a shot from the red line, a low-angle shot, but still gets it on net anyways. Zenstein dumps that one to Kyrkostas, looking for it. Mucha goes down into the corner. Mucha's going to take it up the half board. She drops it. A Zenstein clapper from the point. That one almost got redeflected in. Zenstein just rips it from the point. She grabs it like she's got her driver, and a breakaway chance here.
Shot.
Coming down the ice right here. Chance for Buff State, and Braze slides out of the net. That one doesn't hit her, goes wide. But a 2-on-1 opportunity shut down for the Bengals as Mucha picks it up at the red dot. Grugan's going to circle back, come get that one. And Mucha gets it now. Mucha's taking it down that half board. Rides it out into the corner. She takes a bit of a body in the corner from Braun. Thrown in front, McGrath looking for someone. Nobody's there. Skating this one around Jackson. McGrath looking in front again and shines when it almost had the Hattie there. Rips it a little bit too high over the net. Had the chance for the three-peat. Shines is going to pick that one down to half boards. Little bit of confusion there. Gets picked up and taken out by Sage Running Rabbit.
Turd, seems like the Lakers here right now are just trying to get all of the seniors a goal. Mia Comboy and Lauren Jones both really close there. Jones shot another knuckle puck, and Augie really didn't see it until later. That puck was wide of the net, but Augie a little bit late pushing over to the far side post.
Absolutely, and you look at this team as a whole, it's going to be tough to get the entire senior class a goal today.
It's a lot of goals, Turd.
It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of pucks, considering that 3 of them were courtesy of the sophomore class, and 2 were just from one senior alone, that being Morgan Shines. You still got Taylor Hudon. You still got Avery Webster. You still have Zenstein, although she already had an assist. You have Kylie Grugan. You have just that entire core as a whole.
As Bednar takes a shot there, goes off the knee and goes a little bit wide. Back behind the net, Buff State wraps it around. A little bit of a circle back. Sarek picks it up again. Trying to throw it up is Adimi. Back around the corner, wrapping it up the boards, pinching down Webster. Webster punches it back. She gets her own dump in. Webster tries throwing it backhand. She wants a senior day goal too.
Yeah, Webster was hungry right there, really aggressive on the puck, and still has an opportunity to score.
And Webster now, nobody in front of her. She was going to take a clapper, decides to go for the wrist shot, instead sails it a little bit left. Zemlak tries to rip that one on point. Same thing, too far left. Can't get it on net there. Malone keeps fighting.
Oh, there it is.
An opportunity in front there. Benarik, couple of licks in, and she gets pushed away. That one's going to be stopped by Augie, and another just onslaught of Oswego offense. They can't be stopped right now, boys.
Absolutely, and Bednarik fanning on the first opportunity, being able to slowly glide its way towards the goal of Augie, and she's able to smother it. But overall, Jared, you look at this team, offense firing on all cylinders, no matter the line, no matter the wing or center. It's just everywhere. It's contagious in a way.
Yeah, this is easily, arguably, one of the games where I've seen where not only is the offense most aggressive, they are the most hungry. Like, they are looking to feast on the Bengals and have some cat paw dinner tonight. And it's really shown. I mean, they've been so aggressive on the puck. They've been on their edges all game long. Sophia Kirkostas, she's been around a little bit too, but I've noticed out of the younger players, Bednarik having a really good there. Turds, their player to watch on point.
And coming down now, dumping that one down in is Garrow. Thrown back by Preston. Zenstein throws it up the boards. Kirkostas. Haas picks it up, and Haas takes a trip ball. That one's going to be a penalty as Buff State is going to head to the box. It's probably going to be a tripping call, I imagine.
It's looking like you might have 2, Kyle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because there was a bit of a shove after. We'll see how the penalties wind out for that, but they will definitely have at least a 2, as you see the trip right there. And then a clear cross check. You can see the extension of the hands out. That's going to be a cross check any day of the week.
Yeah, they're actually giving the call. It's going to be on herself for hooking for Buffalo State. So Oswego will go on the power play once more. Another power play for the Lakers. Jared, we haven't seen much conversion this weekend on the power play, but we'll see how things play out.
You almost got commentators cursed right there, and Ursel a little lucky there to not catch a cross-checking penalty. Getting up high there could have easily been a double.
As Webster fans on that pass at the point, but it gets over to Malone nonetheless. Zemlak tries to shoot that one, sticking the leg out like it's a catcher and stopping that one's Buffalo State's defense. Back door looking for Shines. Shines looking in front for Grugan, couldn't connect on it. Back up to the point, Zemlak. Zemlak back to Webster. Webster takes a little move. Rister, backdoor Shines! Throw the Hats, make them rain. She's got 3 on senior day, and the Hats are flying. We got a few that hit the ice. And what a performance and what a day to do it for Morgan Shines, guys. An outstanding outing for her here today.
And a senior day sensation. Morgan Shines with the Hattie, and we saw a few beanies fly on the ice just beneath the Steve Levy press box. It looks like a little family and friends courtesy of Morgan Shines throwing the hats on the ice, Jared. Definitely something to remember in your last game here at the Deb in the regular season.
Absolutely, and the Buffalo State Bengals doing a good job of tying up Kylie Grugan. They clearly watched some film knowing Grugan pretty lethal on the power play. Is another slot chance for the Lakers.
And another chance there, and Conboy gets shoved down, and we're going to have a scrum going on in front of the net. We'll see if a penalty is called there. Ooh. And a tip from Hudon in front of the net gets stopped just below the pad of Augie. And then Conboy gets shoved down immediately after. I mean, like you said earlier, Jared, it's going to get physical. And as the Lakers keep pulling on the goal total, it's just going to get more and more frustrating, as it looks like Buff State's going to have another player go into the box now.
They might be taking Conboy to the box,
Jared,
too.
I was going to say, Jared, it looks like Conboy's going as well. You can see the frustration with Corbett. Conboy seems a little confused as well, but she's still having a smile on her face regardless.
Refs usher her into the box.
You're having a little bit of booing from the crowd, but overall, old-time hockey, Jared.
I love how Conboy's laughing.
Hockey.
She just thinks it's very funny. I didn't see anything in the replay go on there. Maybe the ref saw something that I did, and I just took a look at the last bit of that replay there. But a good save by Augie there on the play, but the frustration from Buff State, honestly, fairly understandable.
And taking it a step back a little bit, we're gonna touch up on that last Morgan Shines goal, number 3 on the night again. Just great positioning from Shines, being there for the rebound, and that's something that both the men's and women's team were struggling with throughout the year, is making sure that you have somebody a bit adjacent. As we take a look at it right here, that's that save we were just talking about right there. I believe this one's the goal. Yeah, right there. Just being adjacent there, where if that rebound does bounce out at like a 45-degree angle, you have somebody that's there within stick range where they can tap it in real quick.
Yeah, and there's another look at the Shines goal. Look at that Conboy replay we saw earlier. She did go at Augie a little bit, getting the stick in there, trying to pry that puck out, a high effort play, but Conboy, down on that fourth line for most of this year as an extra skater today, getting in there, trying to get a gritty goal, and Buffalo State taking a little bit of an exception, but we'll get some 4-on-4 hockey as if this game wasn't chaotic enough, 7-1, and now we're getting into penalty trouble. I was just about to say, my look at the under, looking really good, and looks like both teams trying to foil me here in the third period.
On the other hand, you look at the penalties-wise, and you look at that last line on the Lakers squad. Originally on the line chart, Hudon, Shines, and Corbett, they've been slowly merging their way into throwing Conboy into that fourth line. It's been a good blend between those two and being able to rotate those two in.
And 4-on-4, a lot of open ice. Amanda Zenstein tries making a move in there. Simone Bednarik on the forecheck there, dancing around a little bit and throwing it down the ice for Buffalo State. Sarek, no icing on that one. Buffalo State with a chance here. They get a shot on net. That one's going to go right in the red basket of Braze. Braze, routine save there, getting her numbers up on the year. I mean, when you haven't seen anything all year long, even 1 or 2 shots can be a bit frightening when you're getting your first look of the season. So how important is this for Braze to get some saves under her belt and ease into the system once more?
Just a little bit really routine for this goaltender. Granted, the third string on the line chart, but at the same time you have Joanna Hebert. An interesting tactic, but in a way a respectable tactic by Coach Digby. We all know if Lexi Levy goes down, whether it be injury or poor performance, which we really haven't seen, commentators curse, knock on wood, this season. You look at Braze, who's been with this team over the last 2 years, hasn't really gotten any games, hasn't started any games. It's just a way to, in a way, pay your respects.
And another chance there as Burke almost got her second of the night. Zemlak over to the top. Webster's going to rip one. That one gets blocked away. Haas picks it back up down in the corner at 4-on-4. 31 seconds left to go in that. Webster's going to skate it down the side herself. She's going to cut on the inside. She tries backhanding it. She thinks she's Sidney Crosby dancing around and going for the backhander.
Yeah, Webster did get a point on that Shines goal of Grugan.
And a shot right there for McGrath, just a bit wide.
It was senior night last year against Canton. Ashley McGrath had about 3 or 4 shots all by herself. Wasn't able to hit the net. Did hit one for a goal, getting real close here.
And Kirkostas tips that one up just a little bit high off the deflection as we return to 5-on-5 play. Buff State with a little bit of momentum going, but it stopped immediately as Webster's coming down now. Webster's got a chance, 2-on-2 for the Lakers. Webster's going to shoot that one off the pad of Adimian, goes wide. Back into the neutral zone. Booth grabs it, and they're going to regroup it. Throwing it up the boards, Kirkostas pokes that one, and Convoy fresh out the box. She's well rested, getting ready to go. She gets taken down. She's going to just, from the ground, throw that one around the boards, give it another chance as Shines is on the attack. Shines playing a bit of a hard body over there, and Shines a very physical player for this team. Looking backdoor, Hudon couldn't connect on that one.
We've seen a bit of the youth movement here, Kyle, but it's been the seniors all night. They're leading in ice time right now by the eye test, and deservedly so because they have played exceptional tonight.
Yeah, it's their last home game. You want to give them as much time on the ice as they possibly can as a player goes down there. Shines is going to chase that one down. Oswego starting to look a little bit tired now as they've been wheeling around all game long. One of the things we've touched on a few times throughout this game is the short bench of Buffalo State. And that could be a big factor as to why this game has taken the course it has. Having so many players down, if you're Buffalo State, you got to get tired really quick.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. And these seniors here, a really long shift, Kyle. They've been out here since 9-10 minutes, a 2-3-minute shift. You know, we talked about the ideal shift length being 45 seconds, and that's a little bigger than 45 seconds, Kyle. I'm not a mathematician. That's why I'm a broadcaster. But those numbers don't make sense, and that's a lot of time to be going 100%.
And a give-and-go opportunity right there, poking it up to Malone. She's going to chip that one down, stopped by the pad of Augie. And Turge, inquire us a little bit about Augie's performance. She's been playing really good so far this game. Obviously, 7 goals allowed. But even with 7 goals allowed, she's shut down 37 shots throughout the course of the game.
Absolutely, and the point-blank opportunities, you look with Augie, a lot of the goals that Oswego has scored have been on rebounds, so another opportunity there. You look at her rebound control hasn't been top tier, but she has made the saves that you expect her to make. And the rebounds, on the other hand, Jared, you've seen a few of them in the corner. Those backdoor rebound opportunities that Augie has given up have eventually led to being in the back of the net.
Yeah, there's been a few of those rebounds where she goes to make a blocker save. Instead of turning that blocker to the corner, she kind of gets the save, but ends up turning that puck right back out in the slot, and it's given Oswego the chance to set back up, get some passes, get some traffic, and score.
As Preston finds Zenstein backdoor, and Zenstein couldn't square around on it for the one-timer, had to try to backhand chip it in, goes a little bit wide. Now Zenstein battling below the red line. She gets it up to Preston, and Preston just whiffs on that one. Can't connect it, but Bednarik drops back and gets it. Dropped back up to Zenstein. Zenstein shovel pass it up to Malone. Malone faces a bit of traffic as Zenstein's trying to stick handle through it now. Chipped up the ice by Buff State. Coming up is Willick. Willick takes it a little bit wide. She's going to come in the middle, rips a shot just wide. Bednarik and Willick battling for it. Preston intercepted on the pass. That one's going to get taken out into the neutral zone, picked up in the middle. Coming down is Cruzal. Cruzal makes a move. Cruzal shot. That one's gloved away by Braze.
And another good save by Rachel Braze. Hasn't really been contested much in this matchup, and you see couple more shoves in front of the goal. Braze just cleaning up shop, Jared, and going down to the final moments here on this senior day with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the third. Overall, you kind of have your suitcases packed and you're ready to make your trip down to Cortland in the upcoming weeks, but going into your final thoughts in your senior day, what's it going through?
I mean, it's difficult. You know, you're kind of thinking about it the whole time. I mean, when I ended my college sport career, it was at sectional, so, you know, my mind really wasn't on it until you get into these final minutes. You know, you step up, you're taking your final approach, doing all that kind of stuff, you know, for my prolific high school bowling career. But, you get up there and it's the 10th frame, and you're really not thinking about it, especially when you almost bowl a 300. Humble brag. But
not a big deal.
Not a big deal. And the end of that frame, you're thinking about it in the last ball. Kirkasa, she's young. She's not thinking about that yet. Good save, though, by Augie.
She gets taken down there.
Yeah, but, yeah, as it's ticking down, you start to think about it a little bit. I guarantee you they're not thinking about it right now, but when they see here 1 minute remaining in the period, it'll be on their minds. This could very well be the last game they'll play in front of their home fans. Still some hockey left, so not over yet.
Zemlak in another goal. That one's McGrath and another beauty of a play. Down in the corner, just Haas picks it up, tosses it in front. McGrath finds a back door, and that has been 4 or 5 backdoor goals so far in this game, and just stretching the ice with ease so far, the Lakers.
Woo! What a nice pass by Ariella Haas on the cutback, right point blank in front of Augie on the back door. The cup and the punt fake, able to finish it off.
Turge, that brought the Canadian out in you.
Oh, my God.
Great use of words, Turge.
Oh,
it's just unbelievable. What a passing play. Ariella Haas able to dish it off. Ashlyn McGrath being one of the high talking points this season for this team. When talking about scoring, it's been Ashlyn McGrath. If it hasn't been Ashlyn McGrath, it's been Ariella Haas on the assist. And when those two come together, just take a look at that. That was something.
And I kind of felt it coming with how much Ashlyn McGrath was getting the puck, being trusted to make a shot, getting some good chances, but the puck luck not there. A puck bouncing off Amanda Zenstein's stick and going off. A good tip at attempt, a lot of good tip attempts by Oswego. They would have aced the practice drill at this point, but just not the puck luck there, tipping off a defender or something of the sort. Just hasn't quite been there yet, but boy, for Oswego, that goal there, as I like to say, back up the waste management dumpster, because that was filthy.
Oh, yeah, pin it, clip it, and hang it in the Louvre. Beautiful goal there as Buff State's coming up with a little bit of energy here. They're just going to dump it down in at the red line. On the forecheck, throwing a bit of a hit there is Minzora. Back behind the net. Minzora once again. She throws it in front looking for something. Couldn't connect on it. Grugan's going to pick it up. Grugan tosses it back up to McGrath again. McGrath tries to keep the puck going. Couldn't do so. Faces a slew of Buffalo State players, and they're just going to chuck that one down in as soon as they get the red line. Throwing it over, trying to find Hudon. Willick in the center of the ice. Willick on the forecheck. Drives by on Webster. Webster trying to do a little bit of a handling clinic. Can't do so. Gets stopped, but that one's going to be dumped down into Oswego's zone. Zenstein's going to go behind the net, pick that one up. 3:27 left to go in the third period of play. I'm Kyle Spiezak. Joining me in the booth, Thomas Turgeon and Jared Wakefield, as we are coming in on the final minutes of Oswego State Women's Hockey's Senior Day. The Lakers lead 8-1, shots 47-20 as Willick picks it up in the far side corner. Willick's going to take it down past the goal line. She dumps it out in front looking for a trailer. As Jared Wakefield always loves to say, the trailer was not hitched.
Trailer was unhitched. The slot was wide open there, and a scary moment for Braze. As a goaltender, when you don't see a lot of minutes and you get that traffic in front of you, I don't think there was any way you would have seen the puck even if you had x-ray vision. So Braze had to really look there.
And a Buff State player gets taken out. That's Sage running rabbit. Going down is Tingley. Tingley gets a shot, wraps it around the boards. Conboy trying to poke that one around and keep the momentum going, but it got stopped up by Ademi.
All seniors currently on the ice here, Kyle. 2.5 remaining. Grant Conboy now getting a change, but Grugan on, so it still remains until now.
And Webster throws that one over. Tossing it up, trying to find Haas. Grugan coming down. And Haas, Ariella Haas toe drags it, snipes it short side past the glove of Augie, and this game has blown away all of our expectations. Ariella Haas, what a game for her senior day. Senior day has come out just electric. I mean, Morgan shines with a hat trick. Haas 2 assists, and then she toe drags and snipes that one. What a beauty.
Oh my goodness, get out of here. Just tucking it in the short side. Looking like something you'd see in a video game, just the pull on the toe drag and letting her fly. Short side against Jessica Augie. Now a 9-1 game in favor of Oswego State. And Ariella Haas, another goal for her in her career. And just a fantastic job for her today. It's been able to put the puck in the back of the net. And Jared been able to dish it as well.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, just goodness gracious. I think we need another dumpster. So there was a good chance right there, but Ariella Haas, an absolutely filthy shot. And I don't know. I think for Ariella Haas right now, I think they need to disable auto aim on her stick. A perfectly placed shot.
And you know what? Coming out here, we've had a few players on Oswego. They're playing like it's my NHL 23 be a pro mode right now. I mean, I put up like 200 goals a season because I like to play on rookie mode, but that's what they're looking out on the ice right now like.
99 overall at the moment. Get the EA scouts out here.
Get them a contract with the EASHL right now. They are on fire. As throwing it up the ice, a good look for Bednarik, but couldn't connect on it. It's going to go all the way down. That one's going to get called for icing.
And overall, you go into the final minute. Jared, like you mentioned, the final minute is when it really starts to sink in. And I think it's starting to sink in for this group. And Mark Digby rolling the same thing again. Shines, Hudon, and Comboy, as well as Zenstein and Webster on the defensive end. And you look at this lineup, they're going down the home stretch. And what a time for it. You're definitely getting the win today. You got a lot of positives to take away, a lot of great memories with this group, whether it be from 4 years ago, whether it be from last year, or even this season as a whole. This team has made a lot of memories over the last 2 years, and obviously coming back from COVID and being that leadership group, as Coach Digby talked about this year, and playing an integral role in the culture they want to set up for years to come.
And they're looking for another goal here. They want to put one more in, extend it to 10, and get another senior on the board if possible here, as they got it at the point. That one's going to be just thrown down in by Willick. Webster picks it up behind the net. 35 seconds left to go on senior day here in the Deb, as Haas is taking it up the far side with some speed on this one. She gets chased down by Willick. A good play from Willick stops that momentum there as Grugan gets a stick on the puck, but coming up now is Willick. Willick coming towards the middle. She gets to the red dot, and she shoots that one, blocked down by Braze. Braze gets the second chance opportunity and stops it. 8 seconds left to go, throwing up along the boards to Grugan. Grugan's just going to pin this one against the boards, run out the time, and just like that, 60 minutes of hockey is over, and the Oswego State Lakers absolutely hunted the Buffalo State Bengals here today, a 9-1 win. 50 shots on net today for the Lakers. And guys, this offensive display today, I mean, we saw the offense being a bit lackluster the last couple of outings. Today, they put all those questions to rest. I mean, it was just outstanding to watch them play as a unit.
Absolutely, and Jared, I think you can agree much as what I can say. The team did play as a unit. The opponent was not up to par. But at the same time, you have your positive and negative takeaways from this. Granted, Buffalo State did get a goal on you. They got a goal on you last time. But overall, you look to what you did better compared to that Cortland game. I think that's what really showed. They moved the puck a lot more this game. Not as much individual play as it was yesterday. You and I can contest to that. And just overall, it's a team effort. And that's what we saw there.
Absolutely. You know, it was very cool in the handshake line, a very close-knit group, this group, especially the seniors. But cool to see Lexi Levy as Rachel Braze came out of the net. Lexi Levy looking like she's greeting Rachel Braze with a Christmas present there. A lot of excitement there as they share little Linus Olmark, Jeremy Swayman goalie hug before they get into the line there. But just an awesome environment here. You know, a very loud, very excited Deb. You know, I was waiting to do a Hall of Fame hit. That second Ariella Haas goal went in, and you could hear the roar from in the Hall of Fame. So good to see some support out today. A lot of family out today, and the seniors, they were the storyline all day long, not just because it was senior day. They were the stars of the show on the ice.
Yeah, and really just an outstanding performance here today. I mean, Haas and Shines in their last game of the Deb just can't ask for a better performance than that. You put up 3 points each, if not more. That's what dreams are made of right there. That's a movie scene script right there. The D3 hockey script writers went crazy on this one today.
Absolutely, and you look at this game as a whole, and all the players are getting ready for the senior day ceremony. It's definitely going to be emotional. Talking with Rachel Corbett this week, the only assistant captain that is not a senior, says definitely a lot of takeaways from this team, but definitely going to be bittersweet for sure going these last final moments here in the Deb before they go to playoffs.
Yeah, and you can see some of them sharing a hug down here. We'll have coverage of that up here. But, boys, pretty fun period up here. I mean, I really don't know what to say. I feel like we've covered everything. I mean, it was about as perfect of a period as Oswego could want there. They get Braze in. The first one goes, but from there, 6 pretty clean saves and a couple where she was mobile, moving over to the post, a nice breadbasket save, able to track ththose pucks, and she really didn't give up any rebounds, able to corral that puck and swallow it right up and give Buff State nothing when they would crash the crease.
Yeah, they really didn't give, or Braze didn't really give a lot of second chance opportunities. Did a good job with rebound control, and the defense held her back up amazing as well. The defense was looking solid. Buff State didn't have all that many chances coming down in. You had senior defensemen like Webster and Zenstein that really stepped up huge. Even Jones, we haven't seen her too much throughout the course of the season, but she stepped up huge this game as well too. All of the seniors across the board had a fantastic game today, and really, if you take a look at the whole Oswego roster, I couldn't point out a single player on this team that didn't look good today.
Absolutely, and this is really, Jared, we say it again and again, a lot of positives to take away from this game here today. It's a great day to celebrate, a great way to move forward. You have a big contest in the upcoming weeks, but overall, just a lot of memories you'll cherish with this team.
Absolutely, and you can see photographers all the way across the ice over in the Buffalo State bench. Buffalo State has cleared out, headed to the locker room, a long trip home down on I-90 back into downtown Buffalo where Buff State is. Everybody trying to work the gear off and work some things out. Lexi Levy, currently Dominic Kosick stacking the pads in this photo right now. Looks like our broomball team photo. But really cool to see, you know, at the start of the year, it was a rough start of the year for this team, but this team grew as a unit and their success has come together. You know, you don't see really any unassisted goals with this group or anything. There's a lot of assists, there's a lot of team chemistry, and you can certainly tell, you know, you look at a couple teams, you can see where there's 3 or 4 players that really control the scoring and control the pace. But for Oswego, you know, if one player scores, score line goes up, 2 others do as well.
Yeah, I mean, really just the whole team worked well as a unit here tonight. And a lot of games this season, they worked as a unit quite well. A lot of the goals throughout the season were assisted, just good passing plays, and we saw it more than I've ever seen it today. I mean, I think every single goal except Morgenshine's second goal was assisted, and that one was the only unassisted one, I believe. I'm 95% sure everything else was either 1 or 2. But that's all we have here today in the Deb. Thank you for tuning in to WTOP 10. That's our coverage of the call, but we are covering senior night right now. So, without further ado, I'm Kyle Spizak, joined by Thomas Turgeon, Jared Wakefield, for producer Jacob Bradley in the back, and director Thomas Tallarino. Have a great night, and thank you.
I assume we're just going to have to